Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome into the Jimmy John's pregame show, getting you set for another edition of Crusaders men's basketball here on the Capital Sports Network. I'm Charlie Danis. I'll be bringing you the action today from the Capital Center right here in Bexley, Ohio. Today is the Ohio Athletic Conference opener for two teams from the OAC, that being your Capital Crusaders. They are taking on the Polar Bears of Ohio Northern this afternoon. We will delve into this matchup between the Crusaders and the Polar Bears coming up later on in the pregame show. In the meantime, it's been a while since I or a lot of you have seen this team in action, with them being on the road as much as they have. Capital had started off the season a perfect 2-0 thanks to wins over La Roche and Chatham. But then they went on the road, went away from the Capital Center for 3 games, and let's just say the most recent stretch here for the Crusaders has been anything but easy. It's been very, very tough, to say the least. Capital started off the stretch with a 79-77 loss at the hands of Wittenberg. This was a game that Capital trailed by 10 at the half. They made a valiant effort to come back in this game, outscoring Wittenberg 39-31. But it was Wittenberg who ended up getting the win in this game against the Crusaders thanks to some late-game heroics. The game would go down to the final seconds before Wittenberg was able to make a layup at the buzzer by Jacob Bertiems. Bertiems able to give Wittenberg the win right there, 79-77. Capital then fell to Ohio Wesleyan 87-70. This was a game that they played against OWU over at Otterbein as part of the OAC NCAC Challenge. This was back on November 26th. The Battling Bishops got the best of the Crusaders in that game, 87-70. Nate Axelrod poured in 26 points for the Battling Bishops, as that was the major difference in that game. That dropped Capital to its second loss of the season. And then finally, perhaps the most frustrating defeat of all in this recent stretch of games for the Crusaders, Capital falling to Adrian of Michigan 55-52. This was a low-scoring affair, to say the least. Capital trailed by 2 at the half as Adrian took a 22-20 lead into halftime. Adrian then outscored Capital by the slimmest of margins, 33-32 in the second half. And very much like the game against Wittenberg, this was a game that went down to the final seconds or so, and a Jordan Harris three-pointer that came with literally 1 second remaining on the clock allowed Adrian to get the win over Capital. So Capital trying to snap a 3-game losing streak today, while also trying to start off on the right foot in OAC play. Speaking of the OAC, we'll take a look around the Ohio Athletic Conference. You also hear my conversation with Capital head coach Damon Goodwin and much more. We're just getting started here on the Jimmy John's pregame show as we ready you for another edition of Crusaders men's basketball here on the Capital Sports Network. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Ed, what is that bizarre contraption?
It's my latest Jimmy John's online ordering enhancement, sir.
Really?
Yes, sir. You know our popular Jimmy John's online ordering service?
Yes, click, order, eat.
This is the perfect time-saving companion.
How perfect, Ed?
Presenting the Jimmy John's F4000 three-dimensional sandwich printer.
Oh, boy.
See, we put one of these babies in the home of every Jimmy John's customer.
Uh-huh.
They order their sandwich online.
Uh-huh.
And we send a signal to the F4000 to make their sandwich.
Ed, how much does one of these babies cost?
With the quantity discount, $50,000, sir.
And how long does it take to print a sandwich?
About 8 hours, sir.
Do you see where I'm going with this?
So back to the drawing board?
No, stay away from the drawing board, Ed.
It's the perfect sports bar because it's not just a sports bar.
I'm Gary Calico, founder and president of Rusty Bucket. A lot of families build their sports world around the bucket.
It's not just a guy's night out. You can bring your wife, you can bring your kids.
We get a lot of groups in after games.
Great place after the game.
Kids love to come here.
The Rusty Bucket Restaurant and Tavern.
The Rusty Bucket is a proud supporter of the Capital Crusaders. Visit us after the game at 2158 East Main Street and grab life by the bucket.
This is a message for the nurses among us. For those who dream of saving lives. For those who are driven to improve care. And for those ready to help heal what's broken, be it a single bone fracture or an entire hospital system. Capital University's advanced nursing programs are built for you. Engaged faculty, immersive learning, and intimate classes where you'll know everyone's name. To learn more, visit capital.edu/nursing. Advanced nursing at Capital University, for those driven to do more.
Welcome back to the Jimmy John's pregame show as we continue to inch closer and closer to tip-off between Ohio Northern and Capital. It's the OAC opener for both the Polar Bears and the Crusaders. And speaking of the Ohio Athletic Conference, it's now time to take a look around the OAC, and this is brought to you by the Honey Baked Ham Company. At Honey Baked, we believe in celebrating life one meal at a time. That's why every Honey Baked ham is fully cooked and ready to serve, so you can spend less time in the kitchen and more time with family. Call them at 614-764-1717 or visit our location at 6630 Sawmill Road today. Well, today will be the OAC opener for a lot of teams, although a couple of teams have already started OAC play. At least that was the case for Otterbein and Marietta. They played back on Wednesday, November 29th, with Marietta getting the best of Otterbein in that game, 86-60. So OAC openers across the board for a lot of teams today. Marietta has gotten off to a tremendous start, as many expected. They are a perfect 5-0 overall, 1-0 in conference play. John Carroll, also another OAC team that has yet to lose a game so far this season. They are 4-0. Mount Union 4-1, Baldwin Wallace 3-1, Wilmington 3-2. Heidelberg and Ohio Northern are 2-2. Capital, because of that 3-game losing streak, has slipped to 2-3. Muskingum 1-3. And how about this? The Otterbein Cardinals, after that loss to Marietta, dropped to 0-6 overall this season. It has been a very, very tough start for the Cardinals so far this year. Now we get you set for some scores around the OAC. Here's what the slate will look like, around the Ohio Athletic Conference. Otterbein will be on the road. They will be at the Berg, taking on the Heidelberg Student Princes. That game is scheduled for a 2 o'clock tip. John Carroll will play host to the Fighting Muskies of Muskingum. That game is also scheduled for a 2 o'clock tip. And then a pair of games that is scheduled for 3 o'clock tips. Wilmington, the Quakers, they will be playing host to the Purple Raiders of Mount Union. Meanwhile, Baldwin Wallace, they will take their act on the road. They will travel southward today, taking on Marietta. Again, those games situated in Wilmington and Marietta scheduled for 3 o'clock tips. Another quick timeout. When we come back, we will take a quick look at how the women's basketball team for Capital has been doing lately. They got a big win against a team that normally makes the NCAA tournament. I'll tell you about that and more as we continue to roll on here on the Jimmy John's pregame show.
This is a message for all those MBA seekers out there. For the junior exec who'd rather be senior. For the VP yearning to be CEO. And for everyone who'd call their job not just a profession, but a passion. Capital University's MBA program was built exclusively for professionals, experienced faculty, flexible schedules, and classmates you'll soon consider colleagues. Learn more at capital.edu/MBA. The Capital University MBA, for those driven to do more.
Zoe's Cafe in the heart of downtown Bexley, Ohio is a proud supporter of Capital University and Crusader athletics. Zoe's Cafe is a casual, multi-cuisine restaurant that specializes in breakfast and lunch dishes, but also sports a vibrant outdoor patio and daily happy hour specials. Zoe's Cafe is located at 2376 East Main Street in Bexley, just a few blocks away from Capital's campus, and can be found on Facebook by searching Zoe Cafe Columbus. Zoe's Cafe, proud supporter of Crusader athletics.
Welcome back to the Jimmy John's pregame show. It is now time to take a look at the Capital Corner. This is brought to you by Pepsi. Live for now. Well, the last time I saw the Capital women's basketball program, they had to take their lumps in a frustrating 56-52 loss at the hands of Wittenberg, but a nice bounce-back victory for the Lady Crusaders. This coming back on November 29th, a Wednesday. Capital had to make the trek over to the Steel City of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to take on Carnegie Mellon, and that game resulted in a 57-53 win for Dixie Jeffers and crew. Some of the standouts from that game for Capital, how about Caroline Taphorn, one of the freshmen that figures to play many minutes for Dixie Jeffers crew during the 2017-2018 campaign. Taphorn, 19 points on 8 of 10 shooting from the field. Went a perfect 2 of 2 from three-point range and also grabbed 6 rebounds as well. Crusaders also got a nice game from Elle Folan. Folan didn't shoot the ball all that well from the field, 3 of 12, but she did get to the free throw line, knocked down a couple of three-pointers as well. She went 3 of 10 from beyond the arc for a grand total of 11 points. And the Crusaders even got a big lift off the bench from Reagan Stonerock. Stonerock, 11 points off the bench on 4 of 5 shooting from the field, and also had 3 points from the free throw line, as well as grabbing 7 points. So with that win, the women's basketball team for Capital improved to 2-2, and that's a big win for Dixie Jefferson crew, because Carnegie Mellon, one of those teams that usually year in, year out makes the NCAA tournament. That will be a nice feather in the cap for the non-conference resume for the Capital women's basketball team going forward. And speaking of that team, they will be in action later on today. They have made the trek to Ada today, and they'll be taking on the Polar Bears beginning at 3 o'clock. We will keep you abreast of how that game is progressing for Capital throughout the day as the situation permits. But with a win, Capital will not only start off on the right foot in OAC play, but they would also have a chance to push their overall record to 3-2 here on the young season. Another quick timeout. When we come back, you'll hear my conversation with Capital head coach Damon Goodwin, how he's feeling about his team heading into a matchup with a high-powered offense. The Ohio Northern Polar Bears, they know how to score points, and they know how to score them in bunches. You'll hear that conversation and much more. This is the Jimmy John's pregame show here on your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network.
With 14 TVs to watch your favorite team or the next big event, Planks Cafe and Pizzeria in German Village is ready for you and your group today. Plenty of free parking, free Wi-Fi, banquet rooms for private parties and daily specials. What more reason do you need to visit Planks Cafe and Pizzeria? Planks is located at 743 Parsons Avenue and has been serving the Columbus community since 1939. Planks is on the web at plankscafe.com or available by phone at 614-443-6251. Planks Cafe and Pizzeria is a proud supporter of Crusader Athletics.
When looking for great food at low price, be sure to visit Peking Dynasty on the corner of Livingston and Sheridan, right near the Capital University campus. Peking Dynasty has a large selection of Chinese food and sushi, along with great-tasting chicken and beef selections that can please any appetite. In addition, Capital University students receive discounts with a valid ID any day of the week. That's Peking Dynasty on the corner of Livingston and Sheridan, right near the Capital campus, where we are proud to say, Go Cap!
Welcome back to the Jimmy John's pregame show, getting you set for today's men's basketball matchup between Ohio Northern and Capital, the OAC opener for both of these teams. I'm Charlie Danis, and joining me now is the head coach of the Crusader men's basketball program, Damon Goodwin. Well coached since the last time I saw you. 3 straight losses, a 2-point loss at Wittenberg, a 17-point loss at Ohio Wesleyan, and a 2-point defeat at Adrian up in Michigan. What have you taken away from this recent stretch of games?
Well, we really haven't been shooting the ball very well. If you look at our percentages, our 3 percentage is just beyond atrocious right now. We have to start making some shots. You know, we've turned the ball over a little bit more than we want to do. And the bright side is defensively. I think we've been playing pretty good for the most part. And, you know, we're a team without a senior playing. We have one senior. He doesn't play a ton. But we're a fairly young team, and we're trying to figure things out right now. And hopefully we can get off to a good start in the OAC.
You just brought it up. The 3-point percentage has been struggling quite a bit, 23% from downtown. How can you improve that going forward?
Well, I think we have pretty decent shooters. You know, it's just a matter of them believing in themselves and us taking good shots, which I think we have. I don't think we've forced up a lot of bad threes. I think we've taken a lot of good percentage shots and shots within our offense. We just haven't made them. So we just need our guys to step up and make a better percentage and You know, if we shoot 33% from three, which is not even a great shooting percentage, we're 4-1 right now. So that's the way we're looking at it, and that's the way we're approaching it.
Talking with Capital head coach Damon Goodwin here on the Jimmy John's pregame show. Coach, I was getting ready for today's game, and some of the numbers that Caleb Cox is putting up are ridiculous. 7.2 rebounds per game, fourth in the OAC. He's got the fourth best field goal percentage at 60%, and he's leading the conference right now in free throw percentage at 93%. Not a bad start for Caleb Cox.
Yeah, Caleb's had a great year. He's one of our hardest workers. He's one of our highest energy players. He's, in addition to that, he has a lot of attitude plays, which we describe as tips or loose balls or anything that just involves hustling. And he's had a great year for us. He really has, and we'll need him today.
We've seen freshman guard Cameron Caldwell come off the bench a lot. It seems as though that you're trusting him more and more as that backup point guard. Tell me about this young man. How did you discover him?
Well, he's from Westville South, so he's a local kid. I've known Cam. I've seen Cam play for a number of years, just watching him play. And in fact, he's going to start for us tonight. We're going to put him in the starting lineup tonight and have Dan come off the bench just to change things up a little bit, give us a different look. Cam is very strong for a freshman. He's one of our better defenders, to be quite honest, and needs to work on distributing. You know, he's not a natural point guard. He's more of a combo guard that's becoming a point guard. But he handles the ball. He can get to the rim as well as anybody on our team, and we just think that brings a little bit different things to the table that we certainly want to get better at.
Talking with head coach Damon Goodwin here on the Jimmy John's pregame show, getting set for today's men's basketball matchup between Ohio Northern and Capital. Well, Coach, OAC play begins today. Marietta and John Carroll, they've already gotten out to great starts. Mount Union, Balvin, they've also begun the season well. How strong can the OAC be this year?
The league's probably as strong as it's ever been, honestly. And we're going to fight and compete to be in that top group at the end of this all, but it's going to be a big challenge for us. You know, with only one senior and him not playing a lot, I think this league, historically, when you have seniors, you usually do well. And, you know, we just got to keep competing. We have an extremely tough schedule. The teams we're playing, even non-conference, you know, 5 of the 7 teams that we play in non-conference are probably, you know, going to win their league, going to be at the top of their league. And we just got to keep fighting and get better and hopefully make some shots tonight.
Let's talk about your opponent today, Ohio Northern, 2-2 overall so far. They've been averaging 86 points per game. What has made that offense hum so much?
Well, they got a big guy that's really good. You know, Bruns is really good. They got a Berger, point guard, shooting guard that can really shoot. He's scoring 27, 28 points a game, whatever it is right now. And, you know, that's a tough combination. We have a guard that can shoot it and a big guy in this conference at 6'8" that can make do a lot of damage inside. So they've done a nice job. And it's going to be a big challenge for us, but it's also a big opportunity to start the league off right on our own court, and hopefully we get it done.
Before I let you go, give me some keys to today's game.
Well, we got to shoot it. We can't go 4 for 20 from 3 and expect a good result. 3 for 17 or 4 for 16, whatever we've been the last few games. We need to shoot it better, but we also can't give them 85, 86, 87 points. So we'll keep the game. Hopefully the game's going to be in the low 70s for them and the high 70s, high 80s for us, and hopefully we can get a good result tonight.
All right, Coach, thanks so much. Head Coach Damon Goodwin join us here on the Jimmy John's pregame show. Much more coming up after these words.
OSU Sports Medicine is a proud supporter of Crusader student athletes by providing sports health services for Capital University athletics and student health services. Through the work and care of team physicians and athletic trainers, it's the team behind your team. For all fans, if you're looking to improve your physical performance, recover from an injury, or stay active for a lifetime, the experts at Ohio State Sports Medicine are there for you. Visit sportsmedicine.osu.edu or call 366-4332. Just as fresh as its pizza, Donato's is fresh off of its 50th anniversary and still serving the Columbus area with pride. Now introducing online ordering, Donato's Pizza is ready for your order at any time from anywhere. Donato's also features a gluten-free menu and will even cater your next big event. Donato's Pizza in Bexley is located at 2800 East Main Street and is available by phone at 614-235-4477. Donato's Pizza, proud supporter of Capital Crusader Athletics.
Welcome back to the Jimmy John's pregame show. Getting closer and closer to tip-off here at the Capitol Center between Ohio Northern and Capital, the OAC opener for both of these teams. And now, let's go ahead and set the table. First for the Crusaders, this is brought to you by the On the Border Mexican Grill and Cantina. Get your hands on fresh-pressed tortillas, chips as big as your head, margaritas worth their salt, tableside guacamole, and fresh border-style foods. Visit our Polaris location at 4175 Morris Crossing today. Well, the Crusaders trying to snap a 3-game losing streak here today. Consecutive losses to Wittenberg, also Adrian of Michigan, and sandwiched in between there, Ohio Wesleyan. Crusaders trying to get back on the winning side of things after starting off the season with rather impressive wins over La Roche and Chatham. A player that has really been standing out for Capital as of late has been Caleb Cox, the 6'7 junior forward from Cincinnati. Boy, he's been racking up a lot of stats as of late. Cox's 7.2 rebounds per game is fourth best in the OAC. He is shooting at a 60% clip from the field. That's tied for fourth best in the Ohio Athletic Conference. And best of all, he is shooting a lights-out 93.3% from the foul line. That is by far the best mark in the Ohio Athletic Conference. Now, Cox struggled a little bit in their game against Adrian last Wednesday when Capital made the trek up to Michigan to take on Adrian. Only had about 9 points of production. So hopefully Caleb Cox can get back into that double-digit range that we are so often seeing him score out there. I tell you what, when this guy is healthy, when he is strong, Caleb Cox is one of the better post players that the OAC has to offer. And Tyler Jamison is also going to need to pick it up a little bit for Capital as well on the inside. He too struggled in that game against Adrian, only had about 6 points. And with the talent level that Jamison possesses, you would hope that he'd be a double-double guy every night he takes the floor. Now, a lineup change has been made for Capital today. Instead of Dan Auble starting at point guard to begin this ball game, it's going to be the freshman Cameron Caldwell. Caldwell is a 6-foot freshman from Westerville, Ohio, and his playing time has been going up and up and up as the young season has progressed. And Coach Goodwin arrived at the conclusion that the team needed a little bit of a spark. He was looking for a spark, particularly at the guard position, so he has decided to put Caldwell, who's a rather impressive individual from a physical standpoint, in there at point guard. Have Dan Auble come off of the bench, and Auble is able to come off the bench. He's been able to do that within the past few years for the Crusaders. So hopefully Auble can pick it up a little bit from the three-point line, and hopefully Cameron Caldwell can provide some quality minutes for Capital today as they take on a Polar Bears squad that knows how to score the basketball, let me tell you. Speaking of the Polar Bears, let's go ahead and set the table for them. This is brought to you by the Capital Dining Services and, of course, the One Main Cafe. Basically, for Ohio Northern, the two guys that drive the Polar Bear machine, so to speak, both their last name starts with B. Ryan Bruns, a 6'8" junior center from Chickasaw, Ohio. Boy, he has been having a very impressive year. Bruns, 20.8 points per game. That is fourth best in the OAC. His 8.3 rebounds per game, tied for second best within the OAC, and he also leads the Ohio Athletic Conference in block shots. He's already got 13 on the young campaign. That's their best inside presence for the Polar Bears. Their best outside presence, or their best guard, well, that is none other than Nate Berger. Berger, a senior from Dayton, Ohio, stands at 5'10", weighs in at 170 pounds. Berger averaging 25.8 points per game. That's second best within the conference. And he also has been known to dish it out a little bit with the assists. In fact, his 28 assists, best among any player in the Ohio Athletic Conference. Berger and Bruns, those are the two guys that drive the Polar Bear machine. It's a machine that has been humming offensively. The Polar Bears have been averaging 86 points per game in their first 4 games of the young season, come into today's game with an overall record of 2-2. They like to push the tempo, they like to get up and down the floor, and they like to jack up threes as well. Capital's defense is definitely going to be tested, particularly from the perimeter today. We'll take another quick timeout. When we come back, you will hear my keys to the game. What will it take for Capital to get off on the right foot in OSC play, get a win against the Polar Bears, more importantly, snap this 3-game losing streak? I'll try to have the best answers that I can as we come back on the Jimmy John's pregame show in just a moment.
Capital University has partnered with Aramark to form Capital Dining Services. Stop in for a snack or some Crimson Cup coffee at the Capitol grounds located inside Sailor Ackerman Hall. The Capitol Court is located on the second floor of the Student Union and is open 7 days a week with a variety of meal options. And don't forget about One Main Cafe, located off of the main lobby in the Student Union. Capital Dining Services and all of its locations powered by Aramark are proud supporters of Crusader Athletics. For venue hours and more information, go to capital.campusdish.com.
Welcome back on the Jimmy John's pregame show. Ohio Northern getting set to take on Capital today here at the Capitol Center. It's the OAC opener for both of these squads, and now it is time to give you today's keys to the game. These are brought to you by the Marriott Columbus Airport. Elevate your stay at the Marriott Columbus Airport today. Well, my first key to the game, light it up from downtown. Capital as a team has shot 23% from three-point range so far on the young season. That number has got to come up as the season progresses, and Lord knows that Capital has has many talented shooters on this team. I expect that percentage to go up not only today, but as the season progresses. The team is too talented from a shooting standpoint to be only shooting 23% from three-point range. My second key of the game, it's a big opportunity for Cam Caldwell. It's not often that as a freshman you get to start at point guard at the collegiate level. Doesn't matter if it's Division I, II, III, whatever. Caldwell has a big opportunity in front of him. Let's see if Cam Caldwell can provide some big quality minutes for the Crusaders as Capital tries to change things up a little bit with their starting lineup. It used to be Dan Obel at point guard, but now they're going with Caldwell. Let's see if Cam Caldwell can take advantage of this big opportunity today here at the Capitol Center. And finally, the third key of the game, and this might be the most important key, containing Bruns and Berger. Last segment, I just talked about how Bruns has been making a big impact in the post and how Berger is one of the top point guards, if not the top point guard that the OAC has to offer. If Capital wants to have any chance of winning this game, they've got to at least keep both of those fellows in check, perhaps try to coax them into foul trouble. That would really help their cause. But Bruns and Berger, two players that you definitely have to watch out for the Polar Bears this afternoon. It's going to be imperative for Capital to keep those guys in their sights all day defensively, and also to not allow them to improve their teammates around them, particularly Berger, who leads the OAC in assists. When we come back, we will have today's starting lineups, our opening tip-off, and all the game action here at the Capitol Center. It is the Polar Bears of Ohio Northern taking on your Crusaders here at Capitol. Men's basketball coming up here on the Capitol Sports Network.
With 14 TVs to watch your favorite team or the next big event, Blank's Cafe and Pizzeria in German Village is ready for you and your group today. Plenty of free parking, free Wi-Fi, banquet rooms for private parties, and daily specials. What more reason do you need to visit Plank's Cafe and Pizzeria? Plank's is located at 743 Parsons Avenue and has been serving the Columbus community since 1939. Plank's is on the web at plankscafe.com or available by phone at 614-443-6251. Plank's Cafe and Pizzeria is a proud supporter of Crusader Athletics.
Dill's Greenhouse is a local family business dedicated to offering the best shopping experience and honest prices for your gardening needs. If you're in need of annuals, perennials, vegetable plants, or any variety of gardening tools and resources, Dill's Greenhouse is more than happy to get you on the right path. Dill's Greenhouse is located at 5800 Rager Road in Groveport, Ohio, and is open 7 days a week. Visit them online for more information at dillsgreenhouse.net. Dill's Greenhouse. Only nature does it better.
Current or prospective Capital University.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Capitol Center as we get set for another presentation of men's basketball here on the Capitol Sports Network. I'm Charlie Danis. I'll be bringing you the action today from Bexley, Ohio. Today, the OAC opener for both the Ohio Northern Polar Bears and your Capitol Crusaders. Let's now go ahead and give you today's starting lineups. These are brought to you by Dill's Greenhouse. Only nature does it better. First, the starting lineup for the visiting Polar Bears from Ohio Northern University. The starting five for the Polar Bears look like this. At guard will be the 6'2" sophomore from Alida, Ohio, number 5, Austin Allemeyer. Also at guard will be the 5'10" senior from Dayton, Ohio, number 12, Nate Berger. At forward will be the 6'6" junior from Belleville, Ohio, number 13, Daniel Donner. At center will be the 6'8" junior from Chickasaw, Ohio, number 21, Ryan Bruns. And rounding out the starting five for the Polar Bears this afternoon will be the 6'4" senior from Columbus, Ohio, number 22, Joey Diorio. The head coach of the Polar Bears in his second season at Ohio Northern, Rich Bensman. Now the starting five for the Crusaders of Capital University. Here's what the starting five will look like for the Crusaders this afternoon. At guard will be the 6'3" junior from Erlanger, Kentucky, number 3, Austin Schreck. Also at guard will be the 6-foot freshman from Westerville, Ohio, number 14, Cameron Caldwell. Also at guard will be the 6'2" junior from Centerville, Ohio, number 22, Joey Weingartner. At forward will be the 6'7" junior from the Queen City of Cincinnati, Ohio, number 40, Caleb Cox. And finally, rounding out the starting lineup for the Crusaders this afternoon will be the 6'6" sophomore from Strongsville, Ohio, number 45, Tyler Jamison, the head coach of the Crusaders in his 23rd year as head coach here at Capitol, Damon Goodwin. Both teams have taken the floor, which means it's now time for today's opening tip, brought to you by Zoe's Cafe. Whether it be breakfast or lunch, make it a point to go to Zoe's Cafe, located on 2376 East Main Street, right here in Bexley, Ohio. Tyler Jamison will jump with Ryan Bruns. That will be a tremendous matchup on the inside. And Bruns wins the opening tip for the Polar Bears. We are underway here at the Capitol Center. So the Polar Bears will get the first crack at it offensively. Allemeyer on the left wing will pass it around to Nate Berger. Berger, the senior, inside. Nice passing on the inside as Bruns was able to take the feed from Allemeyer after a tremendous pass from Berger. Great ball movement, a 2-0 lead for Ohio Northern. Caldwell on the left wing. Weingartner, top of the arc. Joey creating some space. Long J. Joey knocks it down. I'll tell you what, when Weingartner gets that jumper going early, it can create quite a few headaches for any opponent that takes on Capitol. 2-2 game. 19:15 remaining in the first quarter here at the Capitol Center. Allemeyer in the corner, dribbles in, now back out, three-pointer, and that is knocked down by Daniel Donner, the junior from Belleville, Ohio. 5-2 lead for Ohio Northern. Jamison to Weingartner on the right wing. Joey, three-pointer. Joey not able to knock it down. Ball loose, and it is finally collected by Ohio Northern as Allemeyer grabs the rebound for the Polar Bears. Berger, right wing, drives on in, kick to the corner, three-pointer. That is no good for Diorio, and the rebound collected by Cox to Caldwell. Up ahead to Joey Weingartner. Weingartner shoots and knocks it down. Boy, Joey Weingartner right out of the chute is shooting that basketball with great volume today. 5-4 lead for Ohio Northern. 18:22 left to play in the first half. Berger passing around, swung all the way around, now in the hands of Diorio. Back to Berger. Berger, long three. Berger swishes it through. Tremendous start for both teams offensively. Ohio Northern 8, Capitol 4. 18:04 left to play in the first quarter. I was talking with all the assistant head coaches here at Capitol, and I was telling them that I expect a track meet today with both teams. Both teams have been known to score the ball a lot. Ohio Northern averaging around 86 points per game. Capitol averaging 74 points per game. Both teams have got shooters galore as a foul was called against Ohio Northern. First foul of the game will go against Allemeyer on a push. So now Schreck will be the trigger man, out of bounds on the baseline. Schreck looks around, finally gets it into Weingartner. Now over to Jamison. Now in the hands of Caldwell. Cam Caldwell making his first career start here at Capital. Trying to drive on inside is Caldwell. Caldwell inside to Jamison. Jamison looked like he might have had his shot partially blocked by Bruns, who is now called for a foul. Remember how I talked about in the pregame show, one of the keys was containing Bruns and Berger, and something that might help do that is foul trouble. That's already a foul on Bruns, his first of the game, and now Jamison will head to the free throw line. Shot is up for Tyler, and it is good. Draws Capital to within 3. 8-5, the lead for the Polar Bears here with 17:44 left to play in our first half. One more free throw upcoming for the sophomore from Strongsville, Ohio, Tyler Jamison. Shot is up. It's no good. And the rebound is grabbed by Bruns. Hold on a minute. Whistle. And it's going to be against Ohio Northern. Looks like a lane violation. So one more free throw upcoming here for Jamison. Gets another crack at from the charity stripe. Jamison was able to make the free throw. So because of the lane violation, he ends up going 2 of 3 from the foul line. More importantly, draws Capital to within 2 of Ohio Northern, 8-6 in favor of the Polar Bears. It looked like that went off the leg of Schreck, and Ohio Northern will have the ball here with 22 seconds remaining on the shot clock. 17:35 remaining in our first half. Ohio Northern 8, Capital 6. Both teams have gotten off to really good starts offensively as Bruns, long hook shot, rims in and out. Ball goes out of bounds, and they will give it to Ohio Northern. Bruns stands at 6'8", a slender 225 pounds for the junior out of Chickasaw, Ohio. Bruns receives the inbounds pass from Allemeyer. Now it's in the hands of Berger. Berger double teamed by Weingartner, and Caldwell goes inside. And now a reach-in foul is going to be called against Jamison as he was trying to deny the entry pass to Bruns. That's the first foul of the game against Capital, already 2 on Ohio Northern. 17-17 remaining in the first half. Ohio Northern with an 8-6 lead over Capital. Berger trying to create, now over to Allemeyer on the right wing. In the hands of Bruns. He'll pop a 3, and that's no good. The rebound is taken by Schreck. Schreck looking to push. Now he'll slow things up a little bit as he'll pass it off to Cox. Cox over to Caldwell. Cam trying to drive on in, and Caldwell is going to be heading to the free throw line, and I believe that is another foul on Bruns. So an interesting story to begin this game as Bruns is already hit with his second foul of the game, and logic would dictate here that after these free throws are attempted by Caldwell, that Bruns is going to be headed to the bench for the Polar Bears. First shot is good for Caldwell. I mean, that is a huge development right there. You're talking about one of the best big men, at least statistically, in the OAC, and Ryan Bruns leads the OAC in block shots. Top 5 in rebounds as Caldwell misses the second free throw, but Capital able to get the offensive board thanks to some nice hustle by Cox. Long J for Schreck, and he knocks it down. 9-8 lead for Capital. 16:45 remaining in the first half. And how about this? Ohio Northern is going to be sticking with Bruns here despite him picking up his 2 fouls. A little bit of a gutsy decision right there by Rich Bensman, the head coach for the Polar Bears. Passing on the inside, layup missed by Donner. Caldwell grabs the rebound to Schreck. Schreck quickly up the floor. Caldwell, three-pointer. Cam not able to knock it down. Offensive board by Jamison. Jamison back up, but Cox is there for the follow. Nice job by Cox, 11-8 lead. And now they try to push it to Bruns, who finishes at the other end. 11-10 lead for Capital. 16:05 remaining in the first half. And boy, this game so far is living up to it being a track meet. A lot of points being scored so far. Caldwell finished, no. And now another foul on the inside, and they are going to get Bruns with his 3rd foul of the game. So the risk being took by Ohio Northern head coach Rich Bensman, leaving his star center in there, and now Bruns already with 3 fouls. He'll have no choice but to take a seat on the bench. Weingartner, jumper. Joey knocks it down. 13-10 lead for Capital. 15:43 remaining in the first half. So with Bruns going to the bench, Travis Fitzhands checks into the game. Fitzhands passing over to Berger. Berger, step back three, and Berger knocks it down from the left wing. Tied at 13. 15:27 remaining in the first half. Up and down affair between the Polar Bears and the Crusaders. Ohio Northern picked to finish 6th in the OAC according to the coaches poll. Caldwell now trying to create on the inside. He'll spin around, and the call is going to be a charge. And Coach Goodwin not entirely in love with that call right there, as Caldwell was just trying to create a little bit. 13-13 game between Ohio Northern and Capital. 15-14 remaining in the first half. Of course, the major storyline early on is Ryan Bruns having to take a seat here, already accumulating 3 fouls on the afternoon. Now, what does Ohio Northern do without its best big man out there on the floor? We shall see in just a moment. Berger, meanwhile, on the right wing. Step back three from him, and Berger knocks it down. So with Bruns going to the bench, Nate Berger, the senior out of Dayton, he is shouldering the load offensively. Knocks down another 3, gives Ohio Northern a 16-13 advantage with 14:42 remaining in the first half. Meanwhile, Weingartner answers with another jumper. Joey Weingartner, already with 8 points in this game for the Crusaders, brings Capital to within 1. Loose ball goes out of bounds. Give it back to Capital. 14.5 remaining in the first half. It is Ohio Northern 16, Capital 15. Capital on the day shooting 60%. Ohio Northern likewise. The difference in the game so far, Ohio Northern 4 of 6 from three-point range. Capital 0 of 2 from beyond the arc. Weingartner drives on in, off the glass, no good, and the rebound taken by Ohio Northern in the form of Diorio. Quickly ahead to Berger. Berger on the left wing. He's been feeling it from the perimeter so far this afternoon. Forced to pass it off to Diorio. Now it's over to Allemeyer. Allemeyer goes on the inside to Donner. Donner twisting, turning, jump hook, no good. Rebound, Caleb Cox. Weingartner now across half court. Joey passing it off to Tyler Jamison. Jamison fakes it to Schreck. Back to Joey. Joey in the lane, wants to call, and a charge. Defending on the play for Ohio Northern was Travis Fitzhans. Fitzhans, a senior out of Arcanum, Ohio. Now a substitution for Capital, the first of the day for the Crusaders. Coming in will be the freshman from Centerville, Ohio, Sam Lash. One Centerville man substitutes for another Centerville man as Joey Weingartner heads to the bench. 16-15 game in favor of Ohio Northern. 13:40 remaining in what has turned out to be a very entertaining first half between both of these OAC foes. Allemeyer drives in, and the shot no good. Caleb Cox might have gotten a block right there as Diorio's shot was denied. On the other end, Schreck passing out to Jamison, who loses it. Now it's poked away. Back to Jamison. Now to Cox. Caleb driving in. Count the bucket. And a foul. So after all that chaos, Caleb Cox will now have an opportunity to complete the three-point play at the free throw line. Talked about it in the pregame show about how Cox has gotten off to a very impressive start statistically. Cox, 4th in the OAC in rebounds per game with 7.2. As Dan Alvel's getting set to check back in, or has already checked in for Capital, as Cam Caldwell will take a seat on the bench. Free throw up and good for Cox. His 60% field goal percentage, tied for 4th best in the OAC, and exhibiting great touch at the free throw line, 93.3%. That is best within the OAC. And a steal by Schreck. Here he comes on the other end. Schreck not able to lay it up and in, but he was fouled on the play by Ohio Northern's Daniel Donner, so now Schreck will head to the free throw line. There was and Coach Goodwin is wanting the basket to count because there was touching of the net on that play, and there was definitely some rattling on the rim. Now there's a discussion. with our officials as they try to sort out what just took place. No basket has been the call. I kind of disagree with that right there. So now Schreck will head to the free throw line. Schreck so far with 2 points, make it 3 with the made free throw. 19-16 lead for Capital. 13:01 remaining in the first half. Jamison will check out for Capital. Coming in for the Crusaders will be Reed Bradfield. He's a freshman out of Dixie Heights, Kentucky. One more free throw for Schreck. It is up. No good. Now it's tipped around, and Ohio Northern eventually comes away with the rebound. Nate Berger grabbing it. On the other end, three-pointer knocked down quickly by Joey Diorio. And just like that, we're tied at 19. 12:48 left to play in the first half. Schreck, located near the top of the arc. Passing off to Lash. Now over to Abel, who just checked into the game. Abel gets it inside to Bradfield. Bradfield back out to Cox. Back inside to Bradfield, who finishes at the rim. His man slipped. Daniel Donner clapping his hands in frustration right there as Donner must have slipped on a wet spot right there. Now it's being attended to on the floor. Right place, right time, I guess, for Reed Bradfield, was able to convert the bucket and give Capital a 21-19 lead with 12:25 left to play in our first half. Austin Allemeyer on the right wing, passing it off to Nate Berger. Berger now back over to Allemeyer, and now a traveling violation is going to be called against Allemeyer, the sophomore out of Aleta, Ohio. So now we'll give the ball back to Capital. 12:16 remaining in the first half. Capital 21, Ohio Northern 19. Capital shooting 61% from the field. Ohio Northern kind of cooled off a little bit. They're now down to 53.8% from the field. But a scorching 5 of 7 from beyond the arc. Schreck trying to back his man down. Spin move. Schreck up and in. 23-19 lead for Capital. 11:56 left to play in the first half. Allemeyer, double team, passes out of it to Berger. Long three for Berger, and Berger knocks it down. Is that Nate Berger or Steph Curry? Boy, he has been on fire from three-point range today. Nate Berger has. It's a 23-22 lead for Capital. 11:35 remaining in the first half. Cox thought about a jumper. Said goes inside, back outside. Abel for three. No good. And the rebound collected by Ohio Northern in the form of Joey Diorio. Now the Polar Bears come back down the other way. Nate Berger, he's already got 12 points. Can he make it 15? No, he misses the three-pointer. Cox grabs the rebound. Now it's to Dan Abel. Abel passing it off to Schreck. Schreck going over his options, back to Abel. Dan thought about a three, dribbles in. Long J for Dan. Dan rims in and out, and the rebound taken by Diorio. 23-22 lead for Capital, 10:55 remaining in the first half. Berger almost lost the ball, maintains possession, back out. Long three-pointer. That is knocked down by Diorio, and Ohio Northern reclaims the lead 25-23, 10:40 left to play in the first half. As the three-point shooting explosion continues for Ohio Northern today. The Polar Bears 6 of 9 from beyond the arc. Three-pointer for Capital. Schreck rattles it home. There's a good response for Capital as they go back up by one, 26-25, 10:21 remaining in the first half. And consequently, the first three-pointer knocked down by Capital today. Long pass, Berger, and that rims in and out, but the offensive rebound taken by Diorio for Ohio Northern. Allemeyer dribbling around now, out towards midcourt, back over to Berger on the left wing. Oh boy, Berger being guarded by Cox, and Berger's three-pointer off the mark. Abel with the rebound for Capital. Dan looking to push it. Dan settles for a three. Dan not able to knock it down, and the rebound taken by the Polar Bears. Grabbing the rebound was Fitzhans. Now ahead to Allemeyer. Fitzhans now on the right wing, dribbling to his left. Inside, Berger able to convert the layup in midair. Caught the pass in midair and was able to complete it with the right hand. An acrobatic move right there by Nate Berger, senior out of Dayton, and Ohio Northern up by one, 27-26, 9:25 remaining in the first half. Lash, the freshman, back over to Schreck, the junior. Caleb Cox now trying to dribble on in against Fitzhans. No such luck. Back over to Abel. Kick to Bradfield. Jumper, no good. Now the ball is bat out of bounds, and Capital will keep possession. And now mass substitutions for the Crusaders. Cam Caldwell, Joey Weingartner, Tyler Jamison, and checking in for the first time today, John Burnham, the freshman out of Toledo. Heading to the bench is Lash, Schreck, Abel, and Cox. And making a substitution of their own, Ohio Northern, that would be Brandon Waugh. He's a freshman point guard out of Columbus, went to Northland High School here in Central Ohio. Waugh shooting 57% from three-point range. That's third best in the OAC. As if Ohio Northern needed another great three-point shooter. 27-26, Ohio Northern with the lead. 9 minutes remaining in the first half. Weingartner over to Bradfield. Now over to Caldwell. Caldwell going inside to Jamison. Jamison twisting, turning, needing some help in the worst way. Finally hands it off to Weingartner. Step back jumper. Good for Joey Weingartner. 10 points for Joey Weingartner on the day. Capital back up by 1, 28-27. 8:39 left to play in our first half. Waugh left wide open for three, and he knocks it down from three-point range. Ohio Northern now up by 2, 30-28, 8:25 left to play in the first half. Caldwell, top of the arc, being guarded by Berger. That was a freshman versus senior matchup. Now it's a Weingartner who's had the hot hand. A feed on the inside. Weingartner trying to get the loose ball. Turnover. Ohio Northern comes up with it. Nate Berger now on the other end to Fitzhans. Now a feed back to Berger. And a blocking foul is going to be called against Reed Bradfield. 14th foul on Capital. Ohio Northern has 6, for those of you wondering. And now it looks like Schreck will be checking back into the game for Capital. Coming out will be the freshman Bradfield. 8:02 remain in the first half. Ohio Northern clinging to a 30-28 lead over Capital. Both teams shooting 55% from the field. But Ohio Northern, they have been red hot from three-point range, 8 of 13 from beyond the arc. Meanwhile, Capital only 1 of 4 from downtown. Brandon Waugh, the freshman out of Columbus, will be the trigger man under the baseline. And Waugh was able to inbound it off of the back of Tyler Jamison. He got it back and nearly completed the and-one play, getting fouled. So now Waugh will head to the free throw line. A little trickeration that time as the foul ends up being called on Tyler Jamison. Waugh, a right-handed shooter. Shot up, no good. One more upcoming for Waugh. Checking in for Capital now, Will Hanna. He's a 6'4 junior out of Milford, Ohio. And Jamison will check out. One more free throw upcoming for Brandon Waugh. Waugh puts it up and in. 3-point lead for Ohio Northern, 31-28, 7:58 remaining in the first half. Cameron Caldwell, the freshman, started at point guard today. He'll pass it off to Burnham. Now it's in the hands of Weingartner. Now over to Hanna. Pass inside to Cox, and Cox not able to finish at the rim with the left hand. Rebound to Ohio Northern. Waugh on the right wing. Waugh dribbling in. Now back out to Fitzhans. Back inside to Max Hartnett, who just recently checked in. And now Fitzhans was fouled. Looks like by Burnham. That's the first foul on Burnham today. Team 6. Waugh will now inbound it from the far side. Here in the student section. And Waugh will immediately get it back from Diorio. Waugh to Diorio for three. Diorio knocks it down from the left wing. Oh boy, all of a sudden Ohio Northern is starting to pull away here, 34-28. Caldwell at the other end. No good as Caldwell misses the layup. And the rebound is taken by Ohio Northern. Berger, other end. Caldwell fouls him. Berger gets the shot to go and a foul. When you're feeling it, you're feeling it. And that is the case for Nate Berger. 16 points on the afternoon so far for Nate Berger, who's now shot 6 of 9 from the field, 4 of 7 from three-point range, and a much-needed timeout here for Capital. We'll step aside. 7:03 remaining in the first half. It's Ohio Northern 36, Capital 28. This is your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network.
Capital University has partnered with Aramark to form Capital Dining Services. Stop in for a snack or some Crimson Cup coffee at the Capitol grounds located inside Sailor Ackerman Hall. The Capitol Court is located on the second floor of the Student Union and is open 7 days a week with a variety of meal options. And don't forget about One Main Cafe, located off of the main lobby in the Student Union. Capital Dining Services and all of its locations powered by Aramark are proud supporters of Crusader Athletics. For venue hours and more information, go to capital.campusdish.com.
Back here at the Capitol Center, 7:03 remaining in the first half. A little bit of a run here for Ohio Northern as the Polar Bears had opened up a 36-28 lead over Capital. Berger missing the free throw. Had a chance at a three-point play that time, but missed, and Will Hanna grabs a rebound for the Crusaders, who now have a little bit of work to do here. Weingartner over to Schreck. Schreck passing it off to Cox. Now over to Hanna. Will trying to decide what to do with the basketball. Now over to Schreck. Now to Caldwell. They go inside to Cox. Back out to Hanna for three. Will knocks it down from the left wing. Brings Capital to within 5, 36-31. A little over 6.5 to play in the first half now. Waugh over to Berger. Berger double team. Pass tipped out of bounds, and they're going to give it to Ohio Northern. Polar Bears will have 20 seconds to work with on the shot clock as Brandon Waugh, the freshman out of Columbus, will be the trigger man along the baseline. Waugh gets it into Diorio. Waugh on the right wing. To Fitzhans. Fitzhans has his pocket picked by Weingartner. Here comes Joey on the other end. Up and in for Weingartner. Capital now within 3, 36-33. What a game so far, by the way, for Joey Weingartner. He's got 12 points. Diorio lets loose a three. That's no good. Rebound taken by who else? Joey Weingartner. Weingartner ahead to Caldwell. Caldwell driving. Left-handed layup is good. Ohio Northern 36, Capital 35. How's this for a run for the Crusaders as they draw to within 1 of Ohio Northern? 5:42 remain in the first half. Waugh on the right wing being double-teamed. Now over to Berger. Berger double-team. Capital going with some sort of zone defense. Fitzhans, however, solves it by scoring 2 right under the basket, pushing Ohio Northern's lead to 3, 38-35. 5:25 left to play in the first half. Caldwell to Schreck. Schreck passing it inside to Hanna. Hanna, jumper, no good. Rebound taken by Joe Berger. Berger quickly up the floor. Inside. And the shot on the inside is good for Max Hartnett, the senior out of Kettering. And Hartnett going to the same high school, by the way, as Nate Berger. Both of those gentlemen attending my father's alma mater, Archbishop Alter High School down there in the Dayton area. Cameron Caldwell, right wing, trying to drive inside. Caldwell slows his roll and not able to get the layup to go. Had an offensive board. Ball poked out of bounds, and they're going to give it to Ohio Northern. 4:44 left to play in our first half. Ohio Northern 40, Capital 35. Dan Auble will check in. Cam Caldwell will check out. Caldwell getting some words of encouragement from head coach Damon Goodwin. He's played well so far. He's only got 3 points, but for the most part, he's been doing a nice job of running the offense today for the Crusaders. So now Auble will check back in for Capital. 40-35 in favor of Ohio Northern as we approach 4.5 to play in our first half. Diorio back outside to Waugh. Waugh will drive on in. No look pass. Now out to Berger. Berger. Stutter step. Berger almost losing it. Berger to Diorio for 3. And Diorio knocks it down. Boy, I'll tell you what, quietly, Joey Diorio, the senior out of Columbus, is having a heck of a game for Ohio Northern. He's quietly put up now 12 points. 4 of 7 from the field, 4 of 6 from three-point range. And the layup not converted by Auble, or Schreck, excuse me, as Ohio Northern comes away with a loose ball. Diorio in the corner. Berger for 3. That's no good. Rebound taken by Will Hanna. Largest lead of the game for Ohio Northern, 43-35. Cox, the other end, and he converts the layup. 43-37 now in favor of the Polar Bears. 3:45 left to play here in the first half. And now the Polar Bears will take a timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. 3:44 remain in our first half. Ohio Northern 43, Capital 37. This is Crusaders men's basketball here on the Capital Sports Network.
Zoe's Cafe in the heart of downtown Bexley, Ohio is a proud supporter of Capital University and Crusader athletics. Zoe's Cafe is a casual, multi-cuisine restaurant that specializes in breakfast and lunch dishes, but also sports a vibrant outdoor patio and daily happy hour specials. Zoe's Cafe is located at 2376 East Main Street in Bexley, just a few blocks away from Capital's campus, and can be found on Facebook by searching Zoe Cafe Columbus. Zoe's Cafe, proud supporter of Crusader athletics.
Welcome back to the Capital Center. 3:44 remaining in the first half. It is Ohio Northern leading Capital 43-37. This is a presentation of Crusaders men's basketball here on the Capital Sports Network. I'm Charlie Danis. Glad to have you along for the ride this afternoon. And by the way, we invite you to join us for the Rusty Bucket halftime show coming up here in mere moments. Taking a look at scores around the OAC, the first half stats, and more. Three-pointer knocked down. And the great game continues for Ohio Northern's Joey Diorio. Diorio now with 15 points in this game as Ohio Northern pushes its lead to 46-37, 9-point lead. Weingartner, meanwhile, missing the layup and the rebound taken by who else? Diorio. Diorio now over to Waugh. Back to Diorio. Diorio, why not? Three-pointer, no good. Rebound taken, however, by Max Hartnett. Fresh shot clock for the Polar Bears. Berger races in and gets the shot to go despite having to contend with the long wingspan of Caleb Cox. And now a timeout's going to be taken by Capital. We'll step aside once again. 3:01 remain in the first half. Ohio Northern 48, Capital 37. This is the Capital Sports Network.
With 14 TVs to watch your favorite team or the next big event, Blank's Cafe and Pizzeria in German Village is ready for you and your group today. Plenty of free parking, free Wi-Fi, banquet rooms for private parties, and daily specials. What more reason do you need to visit Plank's Cafe and Pizzeria? Plank's is located at 743 Parsons Avenue and has been serving the Columbus community since 1939. Plank's is on the web at plankscafe.com or available by phone at 614-443-6251. Plank's Cafe and Pizzeria is a proud supporter of Crusader Athletics.
Back at the Capital Center, 2:58 remaining in the first half. It is Ohio Northern 48, Capital 37. Crusaders got a little bit of work to do here offensively as they try to claw back into this game. Abel to Jamison. Jamison looking on the inside, gets it inside to Cox. Cox able to turn around and finish. Ohio Northern 48, Capital 39. Now let's see if Capital can string together a couple of defensive stops here. Waugh near the top of the arc, dribbling in, being guarded by Weingartner. Back out to Donner. Donner trying to drive on in, now inside to Hartnett. Hartnett back outside to Waugh. 9 on the shot clock for the Polar Bears. Waugh still dribbling around, being guarded by Weingartner. Tremendous defense by Weingartner as Waugh had to struggle with the jumper. He gets the steal back, however, does Waugh. Misses the shot. Jamison grabs the rebound for Capital. Weingartner to Schreck for three. Schreck knocks it down from the corner. That's a big shot right there for Cap. 48-42. Ohio Northern still with the lead. 1:50 remaining in the first half. Now in the game is Christian Williams. He's a sophomore out of Sydney. Berger, air ball. Offensive board, however, and the putback good for Daniel Donner. Ohio Northern's lead back up to 8, 50-42. Minute and a half remaining in our first half. Jamison to Abel. Dan could have had a three-point attempt if the exchange had been a little bit more clean. Now to Cox. 13 on the shot clock. Cox trying to drive on in. Now back outside to Weingartner. Joey, left wing. And he loses the ball as Waugh comes up with the steal. Minute 6 remaining in the first half. Ohio Northern 50, Capital 42. Waugh over to Williams. Williams now over to Donner. Back out to Berger. Berger dribbling in, and that will go off the foot of Jamison out of bounds. So that was a kick ball, so they will reset the shot clock to 20 seconds for Ohio Northern. 50.5 seconds remain on the game clock here in the first half. Ohio Northern 50, Capital 42. Berger will inbound it, almost stolen by Schreck. Waugh gets it, drives in, no good. Offensive rebound by Williams, who drops it off for Hartnett, and then a jump ball is going to be called as Jamison got in the way of the shot attempt by Max Hartnett, and the possession arrow, well, that favors the Crusaders. Schreck will inbound it to Abel. Best that Capital can do here is just draw a little bit closer as both teams inch closer and closer to halftime here at the Capital Center. Weingartner over to Cox. Caleb bouncing over to Schreck. Schreck will now back out to the perimeter. In the hands of Weingartner. 9 on the shot clock. Swung around. Abel for 3. Dan knocks it down from the corner. Brings Capital to within 5. Shot clock turned off. 10 seconds and counting. Waugh gets across half court. Waugh still with the ball. 5 seconds. Trying to dribble on in. Waugh nearly losing it. Williams, long 3. No good. Rebound by Jamison. He'll throw it up in vain, but it wouldn't have counted even if it had somehow gone in. At the half. Very entertaining first half. Both teams shooting the ball extremely well. It's Ohio Northern leading Capital 50-45. Coming up, we'll have the Rusty Bucket halftime show for you. We'll take a look at scores around the OAC, examine the halftime stats, and more. This is your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network.
It's the perfect sports bar because it's not just a sports bar.
I'm Gary Calico, founder and president of Rusty Bucket. A lot of families build their sports world around the bucket.
It's not just a guy's night out. You can bring your wife, you can bring your kids.
We get a lot of groups in after games.
Great place after the game.
Kids love to come here.
The Rusty Bucket Restaurant and Tavern.
The Rusty Bucket is a proud supporter of the Capital Crusaders. Visit us after the game at 2158 East Main Street and grab life by the bucket.
This is a message for the nurses among us, for those who dream of saving lives, for those who are driven to improve care, and for those ready to help heal what's broken, be it a single bone fracture or an entire hospital system. Capital University's advanced nursing programs are built for you. Engaged faculty, immersive learning, and intimate classes where you'll know everyone's name. To learn more, visit capital.edu/nursing. Advanced nursing at Capital University, for those driven to do more.
This is a message for all those MBA seekers out there. For the junior exec who'd rather be senior. For the VP yearning to be CEO. And for everyone who'd call their job not just a profession, but a passion. Capital University's MBA program was built exclusively for professionals, experienced faculty, flexible schedules, and classmates you'll soon consider colleagues. Learn more at capital.edu/MBA. The Capital University MBA, for those driven to do more.
Jimmy John's World's Greatest Gourmet Sandwiches, Ed speaking.
Yes, I need a sandwich delivery right away.
What kind of sandwich?
I don't care. Just get it to 215 Elm Street right now.
I'm on my way.
Jimmy John's. Thanks for getting here so fast.
You're welcome, sir. Here's your sandwich. By the way, did you know your house is on fire?
That's why I called Jimmy John's.
Fire makes you hungry?
No, I knew you'd get here fast. Grab a bucket.
We're going to need more than 2 guys, sir.
You're right. What'll we do?
Leave it to me, sir. Hello, boss. Send everyone you got to 215 Elm. Doesn't matter what kind of sandwich, sir. I'll explain later. Thank you, sir.
Jimmy John's. Come in. Sir, did you know your house is on fire? Yes, I did. Grab a bucket.
Jimmy John's.
Come in.
Sir, did you know your
yes,
house
I
is
did.
on
Grab
fire?
a bucket.
Jimmy John's.
Come in.
Sir, did you know...
Yes, I did. Grab a bucket.
Jimmy John's.
Come in.
Sir, did you...
Yes, I did. Grab a bucket.
Fire department.
Come in.
Sir, did you know you...
It's okay, Captain. We got it handled. Care for a sandwich?
Thanks, but tell me something.
Shoot.
Why didn't you call the fire department first?
I did.
Capital University has partnered with Aramark to form Capital Dining Services. Stop in for a snack or some Crimson Cup coffee at the Capitol grounds located inside Sailor Ackerman Hall. The Capitol Court is located on the 2nd floor of the Student Union and is open 7 days a week with a variety of meal options. And don't forget about One Main Cafe, located off of the main lobby in the Student Union. Capital Dining Services and all of its locations powered by Aramark are proud supporters of Crusader Athletics. For venue hours and more information, go to capital.campusdish.com. New vehicles, reliable pre-owned vehicles, top-notch, high-quality service technicians, and friendly, trustworthy sales associates dedicated to customer service. Byers Airport Subaru in Columbus is ready to get you into the vehicle that you were meant for. Stop by to see our selection at 401 North Hamilton Road in Columbus and take a test drive, or call Byers Airport Subaru at 877-265-9695 today. Byers Airport Subaru is a proud supporter of Crusader Athletics. Subaru, confidence in motion.
Welcome into the Rusty Bucket halftime show. At the half, it is Ohio Northern leading Capital 50-45. You're listening to a presentation of men's basketball here on the Capital Sports Network. I'm Charlie Danis. So glad that we could have you along for the ride, everybody. And before we examine the halftime stats, tell you about what happened in that first half, let's go ahead and take a look at some scores around the OAC today. For a lot of teams, it's the OAC opener. For them, at the half, it is Heidelberg leading Otterbein by a score of 48-35. Cardinals in danger of dropping to 0-7 to begin the young season. And then, let's see here, the only other game in action today involving Muskingum and John Carroll. And John Carroll winning that game today by a score of 34-15 so far. Coming up later on today, Mount Union will be on the road taking on Wilmington, and Marietta, they will play host to Baldwin Wallace. Again, both those games are scheduled for 3 o'clock tips, which will be coming up in about 15 minutes or so. This was a game that a lot of people thought was going to be high scoring. That has certainly been the case between Ohio Northern and Capital today. Capital with some really good shooters on their roster. Ohio Northern, boy, might be one of the more potent offenses that the OAC has to offer. So we're going to be telling you about those halftime stats in just a moment. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and take a break. Again, this is the Rusty Bucket halftime show with Ohio Northern leading Capital 50-45 at the half. You're listening to Crusaders men's basketball here on the Capital Sports Network.
This is a message for all those MBA seekers out there. For the junior exec who'd rather be senior. For the VP yearning to be CEO. And for everyone who'd call their job not just a profession, but a passion. Capital University's MBA program was built exclusively for professionals, experienced faculty, flexible schedules, and classmates you'll soon consider colleagues. Learn more at capital.edu/MBA. The Capital University MBA, for those driven to do more.
Jimmy John's world's greatest gourmet sandwiches. Ed speaking.
Yes, I need a sandwich delivery right away.
What kind of sandwich?
I don't care. Just get it to 215 Elm Street right now.
I'm on my way.
Jimmy John's. Thanks for getting here so fast.
You're welcome, sir. Here's your sandwich. By the way, did you know your house is on fire?
That's why I called Jimmy John's.
Fire makes you hungry?
No, I knew you'd get here fast. Grab a bucket.
We're going to need more than 2 guys, sir.
You're right. What'll we do?
Leave it to me, sir. Hello, boss? Send everyone you got to 215 Elm. Doesn't matter what kind of sandwich, sir. I'll explain later. Thank you, sir.
Jimmy John's. Come in. Sir, did you know your house is on fire? Yes, I did. Grab a bucket.
Jimmy John's.
Come in.
Sir, did you know your
yes,
house is
I
on
did.
fire?
Grab a bucket.
Jimmy John's.
Come in.
Sir, did you know...
Yes, I did. Grab a bucket.
Jimmy John's.
Come in.
Sir, did you...
Yes, I did. Grab a bucket.
Fire department.
Come in.
Sir, did you know you...
It's okay, Captain. We got it handled. Care for a sandwich?
Thanks, but tell me something.
Shoot.
Why didn't you call the fire department first?
I did.
Welcome back to the Rusty Bucket halftime show. At the half, it is Ohio Northern leading Capital 50-45. And you know what? Let's go ahead and take a look at today's halftime stats. These are brought to you by Plink's Cafe and Pizzeria. Plink's is a family gathering place and a Columbus landmark since 1939. This is our location in German Village on the corner of Sycamore and Parsons. Let us begin with the statistics for Ohio Northern. The Polar Bears shot 53% from the field, a scorching 11 of 21 from three-point range, good for 52%. Only made 3 trips to the free throw line, 1 of 3 from the cherry stripe, good for 33%. Some individual statistics for you when it comes to the Polar Bears. Leading scorer for the Polar Bears was Nate Berger. Not a big surprise there, considering that Berger was averaging 26 coming into today's affair. Berger shooting 7 of 12 from the field, a very impressive 4 of 9 from three-point range, good for 18 points and he's also got 2 rebounds and 6 assists to boot. Another young fellow who's been having a good game for the Polar Bears today has been Joey Diorio. Diorio, 15 points on 5 of 9 shooting from the field. He is 5 of 8 from three-point range today, and he has also grabbed 5 rebounds for the Polar Bears this afternoon. Other scorers for Ohio Northern include Daniel Donner, who's got 5 points, 4 points for Ryan Bruns, who got chased early from this game because of picking up 3 early fouls. It'll be interesting to see how the big man for Ohio Northern, how much he will play in the second half and what kind of impact he will make for the Polar Bears here this afternoon. We're talking about one of the best post players that the OAC has to offer. 4 points for Brandon Waugh and 2 points each for Travis Fitzhans and Max Hartnett. Now on to the statistics for Capital. The Crusaders shot 55% of the field. A very good 4 of 7 from three-point range, good for 57%. They made 7 trips to the free throw line, knocking down 5 of those shots from the charity stripe. Individual statistics now leads us to our halftime hero, Joey Weingartner. Weingartner with 12 points, got off to a quick start, scoring the first 4 points for Capital to begin this game. 6 of 9 from the field, 0 of 1 from three-point range, so Joey has yet to get it going from that spot on the floor, but still shooting the ball at a very good rate to begin this afternoon. Also has 1 rebound and 3 assists on the afternoon as well. Other scores for Capital today. Caleb Cox, 9 points, 7 rebounds, 2 points for Tyler Jamison, and also a very good first half turned in by Austin Schreck. Schreck had 11 points on 4 of 5 shooting, including a perfect 2 of 2 from three-point range. 3 points each for Cameron Caldwell, Will Hanna, and Dan Abel, and finally 2 points for Reed Bradfield. Those are some of the individual stats. Some other team stats that stuck out from that first half. Capital, 11 points off of turnovers as opposed to only 7 for Ohio Northern. Second chance points, Capital 6, Ohio Northern 4. Each team with 8 points off the bench. Rebounding-wise, Capital has out-rebounded Ohio Northern 19 to 15 on the afternoon. Ohio Northern has had a large lead. Their largest lead, I should say, has been 11. Capital's largest lead has been 4 so far in this game. Another quick timeout. When we come back, we will revisit our keys, preview the second half of today's game between Ohio Northern and Capital. You are listening to Crusaders men's basketball here on the Capital Sports Network with Capital trailing Ohio Northern at the half, 50 to 45.
I wanted to fly. They said I couldn't. So I built a plane, then a spaceship, then I went to the moon. I invented jazz, hip-hop, rock and roll. Some called it noise. I said it was music. I wrote a letter and sent it by ponies. It didn't get to you fast enough, so I used trucks and ships. But still, they weren't fast enough for me. So I lost the paper and the ink. I sent it by magic. I called it email. I made up new words: jukebox, bling, Google. And I decided some old words weren't okay to say ever again. The mustache. I tried to bring that back 17 times. I wore knickerbockers and shoulder pads, poodle skirts, and flannel. When I came back from World War II, all I had was a t-shirt. So I made that cool. In fact, I invented cool. Who am I? I'm the spirit of youth. It's my job to move the world forward. Pepsi. Every generation refreshes the world.
Back here at the Capitol Center, Rusty Bucket halftime show on the airwaves right now as we go ahead and revisit our keys of the first half. Ohio Northern leading Capital 50 to 45. My first key of the game, light it up from downtown if you are Capital. And so far, for the most part, Capital has been doing a nice job of not only making three-pointers but creating opportunities on the perimeter. They went 4 of 7 from three-point range. The way Ohio Northern likes to shoot the ball with great proclivity from the outside, Capital is going to need to continue that success from the outside in order to win this game today. My second key to the game was a big opportunity for Caldwell, and I would say so far Cam Caldwell has played pretty good. Didn't shoot the ball all that well, only 1 of 5 from the field, 0 of 1 from three-point range. But for the most part, the offense ran pretty well when he was running the point for the Crusaders. Hopefully he can make a little more of an impact offensively from a scoring standpoint. And finally, containing Bruns and Berger. Well, the good news on that front, Bruns really hasn't been able to make that much of an impact so far in this game because he got into a lot of foul trouble. 3 fouls entering the second half. It'll be interesting to see how Bruns is able to play through that for the Polar Bears. But meanwhile, man, what a game it has been for Nate Berger. 18 points on 7 of 12 shooting from the field, 4 of 9 from three-point range. This guy has been shooting lights out in the gym so far. So hopefully Capital can catch this guy on a little bit of a cool streak that will allow them to sneak back into the game. Capital, for the most part, did a nice job shooting the ball, but when you're going up against a team like Ohio Northern who can strike from anywhere on the floor imaginable when it comes from an offensive standpoint, you're going to have your hands full defensively. Can't wait to see what the second half holds for us as Ohio Northern and Capital are both aiming for their first win in OAC play during the 2017-2018 campaign. We will have the second half from the Capital Center coming up after this quick timeout. You're listening to Crusaders men's basketball here on the Capital Sports Network.
It's the perfect sports bar because it's not just a sports bar.
I'm Gary Calico, founder and president of Rusty Bucket. A lot of families build their sports world around the bucket.
It's not just a guy's night out. You can bring your wife, you can bring your kids.
We get a lot of groups in after games.
Great place after the game.
Kids love to come here.
The Rusty Bucket Restaurant and Tavern.
The Rusty Bucket is a proud supporter of the Capital Crusaders. Visit us after the game at 2158 East Main Street and grab life by the bucket.
This is a message for the nurses among us.
Welcome back to the Capital Center. Second half underway. Ohio Northern with a 50-45 lead coming out of the break. We'll begin with the ball. Nate Berger on the right wing being guarded by Cam Caldwell. Diorio, meanwhile, back outside to Daniel Donner. Donner able to knock down the shot, and Ohio Northern adds to its lead 53-45 with 19:35 left to play here in the second half. Cox over to Weingartner. Joey will go inside to Schreck. Schreck, double team. Bruns, by the way, back in for Ohio Northern, playing with 3 fouls. Cox to Jamison. Jamison backing down Bruns, and Bruns promptly blocks the shot of Jamison. Quickly ahead, but out of bounds as the Polar Bears were trying to hook up on Austin Allemeyer on a long-distance throw that time, but it went out of bounds on the far side, and Capital will get the ball right back, trailing 53-45. Just underway here in the second half. Not even a minute in, actually. Jamison passing off to Caldwell. Cam driving in. Caldwell, he has his shot blocked by Bruns. So early on, Ryan Bruns making his presence known defensively for ONU. Speaking of making their presence known defensively, Capital with a steal right there as Schreck comes up with a loose ball. Schreck on the right wing. Thought about a 3, instead passing it off to Cox. Cox back out to Schreck. Swung all the way around to Caldwell on the left wing. 15 on the shot clock for Capital. Now it's in the hands of Jamison. Back to Caldwell on the left wing. Inside the Cox, near the left block. Cox trying to back his man down, dribbling. Now back out to Schreck. 3 seconds on the clock. Spin move in the lane for Schreck, and Schreck got bumped. So now he'll head to the free throw line. Let's see who the foul is going to be on. It's going to be on Daniel Donner, the junior out of Belleville, Ohio. So Schreck now with the shot, and it is up and good. One more free throw upcoming for Schreck. It is up and good. 53-47 lead for Ohio Northern. 18-20 left to play in the second half. Donner over to Allemeyer, who almost had his pocket picked by Weingartner that time. Diorio had a great first half. 15 points on 5 of 9 shooting. All 5 of his shots made from three-point range. Allemeyer with 5 on the shot clock. Hoists a deep 3. No good. Rebound taken by Caleb Cox. At some point, a hot shooting three-point team is going to cool down. Appears as though that is the case with Ohio Northern so far. Caldwell out to Weingartner, and Joey not able to handle the pass as it'll head out of bounds near the Capital bench. Turnover for the Crusaders. That's another thing the Capital's got to watch out for. 7 turnovers in the first half for the Crusaders, only 8 for Ohio Northern. Actually, only 7 for Ohio Northern. 53-47 lead for the Polar Bears. 17.5 to play in the second half. And the foul is going to be called against Caldwell. Inbounding the ball from the far side will be Austin Allemeyer. Allemeyer will get it into Diorio. Now back to Allemeyer. Now in the hands of the dangerous Nate Berger. And now a foul called against Joey Weingartner on a hand check foul. Second foul on Weingartner. Second team foul on Capital this half. And now Dan Auble will check in for Capital. Cam Caldwell, meanwhile, will check out for the Crusaders. Berger will inbound it from the baseline. They'll go into Bruns. Jump hook for Bruns will roll right in. Ohio Northern 55, Capital 47 as Ohio Northern pushes its lead to 8. 17-10 remaining in the second half. Schreck dribbling in and out of traffic. Around Jamison, now over to Cox, who loses it. Gets back possession. Back to Schreck now with 10 on the shot clock. Schreck to Jamison. Auble for 3. Dan not able to knock it down, and Diorio grabs the rebound for Ohio Northern. Berger will lightly jog across half court now. Berger in the middle. Pass off to Bruns. Bruns jumper, no good. And a foul is going to be called against Ohio Northern as Daniel Donner went over the back of Caleb Cox. Team's second on Ohio Northern this half as Donner will check out. Coming in for him will be Fitzhans. Ohio Northern 55, Capital 47, 16-28 remain in the second half. Weingartner, left wing, over to Auble. Now in the hands of Cox. Cox will dribble it inside to Jamison. Cox loses it. Another turnover for Capital. Allemeyer comes up with a loose ball for Ohio Northern. Ohio Northern over to Fitzhans. Fitzhans now in the hands of Berger. Berger with 17 on the shot clock. Back over to Fitzhans. Fitzhans dribbling around, almost losing along the baseline. Maintains possession, however. Now it's over to Bruns. Bruns, jumper, good from the foul line. Ohio Northern now up by 10, 57-47. 15:45 remain in the second half. Capital needs to score, but man, down the stretch, they need to be able to make defensive stops right here in order to get back into this ball game. Auble to Weingartner. Joey, long jumper, and Joey knocks it down. More of that from Weingartner, please, as the Capital deficit is shrunk to 8. 57-49 in favor of the Polar Bears. 15-18 remain in the second half. Bruns over to Allemeyer for 3. That's no good, but Bruns with the offensive board. And now a foul is going to be called against Auble as he pushed Bruns in the back. It'll be the third team foul on Capital this half. And now checking in for Capital will be Reed Bradfield as Jamison will head to the bench. It's been an off game for Jamison, at least offensively. He's only got 2 points to this point, 0 of 2 from the field. Berger on the left wing. Over to Fitzhans, who thought about a 3, drives on in, back outside to Berger. Berger, pump fake, drive in the lane, behind the back pass, got too sloppy. Auble with the steal. Up ahead to Weingartner. Weingartner finishes at the rim. Ohio Northern's lead's now been cut to 6, 57-51. 14:45 remaining in our second half. Berger passing it over to Allemeyer. Allemeyer left wing. Double team now over to Berger. Berger shoots over a double team, almost made a 3, but instead Cox grabs the rebound for Capital. Auble to Schreck. Schreck driving on in, reverse layup, no good. Loose ball gathered up by Ohio Northern as Fitzhans grabs it. Then a wild scramble for the ball as that will go out of bounds off the hands of Abel. Ohio Northern with the ball on the other end. Game was resembling a track meet there for a while. Both teams continue to shoot above 50%. As Capital trails Ohio Northern 57-51. And now looks like a wet spot has developed on the floor near the far side, so they will attend to that and try to get that worked out. Great game continues for Joey Weingartner. He's got 16 points on 8 of 11 shooting. Has yet to hit a three-pointer, by the way. Schreck, meanwhile, the second leading scorer for Capital with 13. Leading scorer for ONU continues to be Nate Berger with 18. Joey Diorio real close by with 15 points. Ball inbounded. Action resumes. Nate Berger passing it over to Allemeyer. Now they go inside to Bruns. Turnaround Jay. No good. Rebound taken by Schreck. Schreck across the timeline. Survey the defense as Capital gets set up in the half court. Schreck on the left wing, passing off to Weingartner. 16 on the shot clock for Joey. Joey, right wing, guarding against Bradfield. Schreck with 8 on the shot clock. Over to Abel. 5 on the shot clock. Abel dribbling in. Long J is good for Dan. 57-53. Capital continues to chip away at this ONU lead, and the ball will go out of bounds and off the hands of Fitzhans. Turnover for the Polar Bears. Capital can draw to within 2 or 1, depending upon the shot that they take. Abel will bring it across half court. He's running the point guard duties. Again, the big news today in terms of the lineup was Cam Caldwell getting the start over Abel, who today has had to have come off the bench. Cox on the inside now. Twisting, turning, up, no good. Tapped around. Fitzhans comes away with the rebound for Ohio Northern. Now it's up ahead to Allemeyer. Allemeyer misses the shot. Another loose ball. Berger comes away with it. In the corner for Diorio. Diorio misses it. Fitzhans, offensive rebound. Another shot, no good. Tipped around. Allemeyer. And Ohio Northern gets loads and loads of second and third and fourth chances right there. Now they'll try to slow things down a little bit. Allemeyer to Fitzhans for 3. That's no good. Cox grabs the rebound for Capital. Ahead to Schreck. Now to Abel. Now to Cox. 21 on the shot clock. Cox over to Abel. Dan trying to decide. Now over to Bradfield. 16-footer. No good. Rebound taken by Fitzhans. Now they'll push it ahead to Bruns. Bruns got hit. Count the bucket and a foul. Man, for a 6'8" guy, Bruns does an excellent job of running the floor. Got behind the defense, caught the ball, got a little contact, and now he has a chance to complete the three-point play. Bruns, a junior out of Chickasaw, Ohio, went to Marion Local High School. Checking in for Capital now is Lash, as Schreck will take a seat on the bench. Will Hanna will also check in for Capital. And checking in for Ohio Northern is Christian Williams. He's a 6 foot, 210-pound sophomore out of Sydney. Free throw for Bruns is good. 60-53 lead for Ohio Northern. 12:15 remaining in the second half. Abel, cross half court. He'll pass it off to Lash. Now in the hands of Weingartner. Joey's had a spectacular game with 16 points. He'll pass it off to Abel. Now inside to Cox. Cox off the glass and in. Capital down by 5, 60-55. 11:55 remaining in the second half, and there is still a ton of ball game left to be played here at the Capital Center. Double team for Berger, passing it out of it to Waugh. Waugh checking back into the game, the freshman out of Columbus. Waugh will pass it over to Diorio. Back inside to Williams. Now back out to Waugh with 11 on the shot clock. Waugh trying to size up the defense. Twisting, turning now over to Williams. Williams, fadeaway jumper. It's good. 62-55 lead for Ohio Northern with 11:21 remaining in our second half. Weingartner being guarded by Waugh. Pass off to Cox. Cox over to Weingartner. Joey gets a shot off, but an offensive foul. Looks like a moving screen of some sort involving Cox. Cox will indeed be whistled for the foul. 11-12 remaining in our second half. Ohio Northern 62, Capital 55. Cap has got to get defensive stops here, right now, in order to get back into this game. Waugh on the right wing. Capital going with some sort of double team out there on the perimeter. Berger on the free throw. Goes inside to Williams. Back outside the Berger for three. Berger knocks it down from the top of the arc. Berger is good. 21 points for Nate Berger. Ohio Northern's lead is back up to 10, 65-55. Waugh nearly with the steal. Weingartner for three. No good. Rebound taken by Hanna. Bruns actually comes away with it. Abel to Weingartner for three. Joey knocks it down. Ohio Northern 65, Capital 58. 10-12 remaining in the second half. Waugh, cross half court. Dribbling around, being guarded by Weingartner. 15 on the shot clock. Now it's over to Berger. Berger dribbling around. Jumper, no good. Bruns with the offensive board. The putback is good. Ohio Northern's lead back up to 9, 67-58. 9:42 left to play in the second half. Hanna to Weingartner, over to Lash. Now over to Weingartner. Hanna fakes it to Abel, goes baseline, pass back out to Lash, now to Dan. Dan spinning, twisting, turning over to Cox. Cox will drive on in, and Bruns gets hit with a foul. That's his fourth. Cox heading to the free throw line. Slew of substitutions looks like will be coming in for Capital, but not before Cox will attempt a free throw. Again, Cox shooting 93% from the foul line. Shot is up and good. Coming in for Ohio Northern will be Daniel Donner. Coming in for Capital will be Cam Caldwell, as Abba will take a seat. One more free throw upcoming now for Cox. Cox's shot is up and no good. Rare miss for Caleb Cox right there as he split the pair at the line. 8-point lead for Ohio Northern, 67-59. 9:12 remaining in the second half. Williams over to Waugh. Waugh, top of the arc, dribbling within traffic, and a traveling violation is going to be called against Waugh as he was out of control going down the lane. And now Tyler Jamison will come in, and he will give Caleb Cox a much-needed breather. Cox with a double-double today, by the way. 12 points, 10 rebounds. He's done a good job shooting the ball from the field as well. He's 5 of 7 from out there on the field. Out there on the court, I should say. Caldwell, top of the arc, over to Lash. Lash nearly losing it. Maintains possession. Caldwell still dribbling around. Cam with 11 on the shot clock. Caldwell being double-teamed, fights through it. And Jamison with the follow after the miss by Caldwell. Brings Cap to within 6, 67-61. Okay, if there is a moment to make a defensive stop right here, this would probably be it for Cap. They have drawn to within 5, 6, 7 points of Ohio Northern, but it always seems like the Polar Bears have had a response offensively. Let's see if Capital can stop them. Well, that was too easy right there, as Berger was able to find a wide-open Daniel Donner on the inside. Capital down by 8. Once again, 69-61. 8:03 left to play in the second half. Weingartner dribbling around. Down the lane, Weingartner scores. 21 points for Joey Weingartner. Ohio Northern 69, Capital 63. 7:47 left to play in the second half. Waugh. Well, he's still dribbling around with the basketball. He'll try to drive on in, and Waugh will be heading to the free throw line as Lash will be whistled for a blocking foul. Brandon Waugh, a freshman out of Columbus, shooting 57% from three-point range. That is third best in the OAC. So far today, Waugh 1 of 1 from three-point range. He's only got 4 points in the game so far. Shot is up. Make it 5 with the made free throw. (70-63) in favor of Ohio Northern. 7:38 remain in the second half. Waugh, shot is up and good. It's Ohio Northern 71, Capital 63. Back to an 8-point lead for Ohio Northern. Seems like we've been stuck on that for quite some time here in this game. Lash to Hannah. Hannah to Lash for 3. Lash, no good. Rebound, however, by Jamison. Over to Caldwell. Caldwell, pass on the inside. Lash puts it up. Got fouled. And he'll be heading to the free throw line, and now Caldwell is down on the deck. He is flat on his back. He might have gotten hit in the head on that play. Caldwell now holding his right knee. No, actually he keeps alternating between his knee and his ankle. I can't really tell. Don't know if this is a leg injury or if Caldwell got hit in the head or what, but in either case, he took a tumble. Now we can see that it's kind of a leg injury as he's limping off of the floor. And it looks like they're going to take him over to a corner just to look at his leg a little bit better. In the meantime, Dan Abel will check back in for Capital. Taking a look at the replay there. Oh, boy. This is Caldwell, suffered a little bit of a bend of a leg that's not supposed to bend, let's just say. As it looks as though that he is going to be looked upon by one of the trainers there. They got him on a table to our right as Lash will hit the first free throw. Well, let's hope Caldwell is okay. A pretty exciting time for Cameron Caldwell. You get to start as a point guard as a freshman here at Capital. You hate to see a day like that marred by an injury as Lash is able to hit the second free throw. Brings Capital to within 6, 71-65, 7:10 remaining in the second half. Ankle injury is what we've been told. Berger, right wing, over to Williams. Williams dribbling, and he will lose. And what? Lash is going to be called for a blocking foul, even though Williams fell down. He slipped. Man, you want to talk about the definition of being bailed out right there. That's a textbook example. So now Williams will head to the free throw line, and because Capital has 17 fouls, Ohio Northern will be shooting free throws the rest of the way, but Williams misses the front end of a 1-and-1 as Tyler Jamison grabs the rebound for Capital. All right, let's see if Capital can draw a little closer here to Ohio Northern on this offensive possession. Lash, the freshman, over to Schreck. Schreck driving in, out to Lash for 3. Lash, no good. Rebound is Schreck. He throws it back in, but unfortunately to an Ohio Northern player in Donner. Ahead to Williams, and Williams is going to be pushed. The shot will not count by by Donner, or by Williams, excuse me. That was a very chaotic scene right there as Ohio Northern was racing back. So now Williams will once again head to the free throw line. Williams, deep breath, shot is up. That's no good. And the rebound taken by Capital. Second time that Williams has missed the front end of a 1-and-1 in this game as the Ohio Northern lead stays at 6, 71-65. A little over 6 minutes to play in regulation. Schreck to Hannah. Will thought about a 3, back out to Schreck, 10 on the shot clock, and Schreck driving, but Not before he is fouled. Looks as though it was against Daniel Donner. Actually, Christian Williams will be whistled for the foul. And now some substitutions. Caleb Cox and Joey Weingartner come back in for Capital. Coming back in for Ohio Northern will be Austin Allemeyer. 71-65 lead for Ohio Northern. 6:09 remaining in the second half. And the good news is Cam Caldwell, well, he's on the bench. They have him off of the observation table now, as they had taken a look at the ankle. Hannah attempting a three, knocked it down. There was a whistle. Are they going to count that bucket? Yes, they are. They just put it up on the scoreboard. Will Hannah will now have a chance at a 4-point play, I think. Hannah's now standing around. Man, there's a lot of pointing and yelling going around now. Okay, so here's what happened. Hannah made the shot. It was good. It must have been a foul underneath against Ohio Northern because nobody is hitting free throws at the moment. It was a common foul that occurred just as someone made a shot. And now for Ohio Northern, Max Hartnett will come in. He'll take the place of Donner out there on the floor for Ohio Northern. But more importantly, Capital is now within 3 points of Ohio Northern. 71-68, the lead for the Polar Bears. Cox dribbling in to the glass. And an offensive foul is going to be called against Cox. Oh, boy. According to one of our officials, Cox took one of his arms, wrapped it around the defender, which allowed him to establish more position down there on the low block. That's very unfortunate. It looked as though that Cox had brought Capital to within one of the Polar Bears. And now 19 fouls on Capital. The next foul on Capital, it'll be 2 free throw shots the rest of the way for Ohio Northern. Berger drives in, shot missed. Put back is good, however, by Hartnett. 73-68 lead for Ohio Northern. 5:25 remain in the second half. Abel to Schreck on the left wing. Schreck, jumper, and it is a foul. Schreck is going to be heading to the free throw line. Foul is going to be called against Allemeyer, so Schreck will head to the free throw line. Shot is up and good for Schreck. One more for the junior from Erlanger, Kentucky. He can pull Cap to within 3 if he makes this shot right here. It is up and good. We got ourselves a ball game here, folks. 73-70. Ohio Northern clinging to a 3-point lead over Capital with 5:10 remaining in the second half. Waugh dribbling in. Back out to Berger on the right wing. Berger, step back 3. That's no good. Rebound taken by Will Hannah. Here comes Capital. Hannah passing off to Weingartner. Hannah over to Dan Abel. Abel, long J. That's no good, and the rebound is taken by Ohio Northern. By the way, it's the end of the first quarter for the women's affair between both these teams. Ohio Northern leading Capital 12-10. And now a timeout is taken by both of these squads of the men's variety. We'll step aside. 4:34 remain in the second half. Ohio Northern 73, Capital 70. This is your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network.
When looking for great food at low price, be sure to visit Peking Dynasty on the corner of Livingston and Sheridan right near the Capital University campus. Peking Dynasty has a large selection of Chinese food and sushi, along with great tasting chicken and beef selections that can please any appetite. In addition, Capital University students receive discounts with a valid ID any day of the week. That's Peking Dynasty on the corner of Livingston and Sheridan right near the Capital campus, where we are proud to say, Go Cap.
OSU Sports Medicine is a proud supporter of Crusader student-athletes by providing sports health services for Capital University athletics and student health services. Through the work and care of team physicians and athletic trainers, it's the team behind your team. For all fans, if you're looking to improve your physical performance, recover from an injury, or stay active for a lifetime, The experts at Ohio State Sports Medicine are there for you. Visit sportsmedicine.osu.edu or call 366-4332.
.434 remaining in our second half, and we got a tight one here at the Capitol Center. Ohio Northern 73, Capital 70. I'm Charlie Danis. This is a presentation of men's basketball here on the Capital Sports Network. It's been an exciting afternoon between both these teams as both the Polar Bears and the Crusaders trying to start off 1-0 in OAC play. Berger, long J, and it's knocked down. That was near the left elbow for Berger. He's now got 23 points on the day. Better for that to be a 2, however, than a 3. Ohio Northern up 75-70. Does Capital have a response here offensively? Schreck thought about a 3, instead goes to Cox. Cox over to Weingartner. Weingartner for 3. Joey not able to knock it down. Ball popped up in the air. Capital has the ball. And oh boy, a traveling violation is going to be called. Fellas, same team. As Schreck and Weingartner collided in midair. They were both going after the ball. And boy, I don't know how Schreck was able to get up off the floor after that collision, but he is one tough son of a gun. Capital will head to the other end while a wet spot on the floor is attended to. 4:03 remaining in the second half. Ohio Northern up by 5, 75-70. Capital with 19 fouls, and Ohio Northern with 7. So any way you look at it, these teams are going to be shooting free throws the rest of the way if fouls continue in this affair. Meanwhile, Brandon Wall will bring up the ball for the Polar Bears. He's on the right wing to Diorio. Allemeyer for 3. Allemeyer knocks it down. That has been the theme today for Ohio Northern, who has shot 14 of 31 from three-point range. Schreck, top of the arc over to Weingartner, inside to Cox. Cox back outside. Hanna for 3. Boy, it looked as though that Hanna might have gotten hit on the hand, but Cox able to get the offensive board. Hanna nearly loses it. Jumper, no good. Another offensive board by Cox. Now back outside to Weingartner. Over to Hanna. Hanna, left wing, thought about a 3. Now it's over to Weingartner. 20 on the shot clock. Approaching 3 minutes to play in the second half. Ohio Northern 78, Capital 70. Hanna driving inside, loses the ball, and Diorio comes up with a turnover for Ohio Northern. Waugh near half court. Now it's over to Austin Allemeyer. Allemeyer to Diorio. Over to Berger. Berger to Waugh. Waugh out towards midcourt. Now he's driving on in, passing off to Allemeyer. 4 on the shot clock. Three-pointer now for Bruns, and he knocks it down. Boy, right now, Ohio Northern, they are playing like it's closing time right now as they elongate this lead to 11. Dan for 3. Abel knocks it down. And quickly a timeout taken by Capital. We'll step aside once again. 2:17 remaining in the second half. It is Ohio Northern 81, Capital 73. This is Capital Men's Basketball here on the Capital Sports Network.
With 14 TVs to watch your favorite team for the next big event, Blank's Cafe and Pizzeria in German Village is ready for you and your group today. Plenty of free parking, free Wi-Fi, banquet rooms for private parties, and daily specials. What more reason do you need to visit Plank's Cafe and Pizzeria? Plank's is located at 743 Parsons Avenue and has been serving the Columbus community since 1939. Plank's is on the web at plankscafe.com or available by phone at 614-443-6251. Plank's Cafe and Pizzeria is a proud supporter of Crusader Athletics.
2:18 remaining in our second half. Ohio Northern 81, Capital 73. The Crusaders need a furious rally here. Possibly send this game into overtime. Both teams back out there on the floor. We invite you, by the way, to join us for the Byers Airport Subaru postgame show. Take a look at the final stats, scores around the OAC, and much more. That's the Byers Airport Subaru postgame show. They'll be coming up after the conclusion of today's game. Ohio Northern, meanwhile, with the ball. And Waugh is slowly bringing the ball up the floor as Ohio Northern will look to salt the clock away, although they go right inside to Bruns, and he missed an easy one right there. Some life for Capital. Here comes Weingartner. Capital down by 8, 2 minutes left to play. Weingartner top of the arc. Three-pointer. Joey not able to knock it down, and Waugh is able to grab the rebound for Ohio Northern. Ohio Northern with 15 threes today. Capital, meanwhile, only 7 of 16 from the arc. In a normal game, that's usually enough, but not against a team like Ohio Northern. Bruns missed another shot. It goes out of bounds, and they give it to Ohio Northern. Capital has 3 timeouts remaining. For those of you wondering, but the way that Ohio Northern with this big lead, looks as though they're just going to try to run the clock down a little bit here as Berger being guarded by Abel. Now it's over to Waugh. Waugh on the right wing being guarded by Schreck. Waugh dribbling around. Now it's over to Berger. 10 on the shot clock. Berger dribbling around. Now over to Waugh. 5 on the shot clock. Waugh, bank shot, no good. Cox with the rebound. But the ball is poked away by Diorio. He headed out of bounds, however. That gives the ball right back to Capital. Minute 4 remaining in regulation. It's Ohio Northern 81, Capital 73. Capital down by 8. For the rest of the game, Capital is just going to have to foul and just hope that Ohio Northern misses some shots and then try to make some shots on the other end. Abel. Chukran for 3. No good. Back out to Abel, however. Abel back over to Chukran. Another 3 for Brennan. And it's good. Now stop the clock after the timeout with 47.1 seconds remaining in regulation. This game is not over just yet, folks. Ohio Northern 81, Capital 76. Both of these teams opening up OAC play today, and that is the same case for the women's teams of these respective universities. A score update now for the women's game. 5:46 left to play in the second quarter. And Ohio Northern has a big lead over the Crusaders, 27-12. Ohio Northern has outscored Capital 15-2 in the second quarter of that game. 12-0 run by Ohio Northern in that game. So tough times for Dixie Jefferson crew. Hopefully they can rally and potentially get a win over Ohio Northern, who was picked to finish first in the OAC on the women's side of basketball. Meanwhile, back to our game, 47.1 seconds remain in the second half. It's Ohio Northern leading Capital 81-76. Ohio Northern is going to be inbounding the ball here. Capital needs a turnover of some kind. Otherwise, they need to just foul the Polar Bears, hope that ONU can miss a couple of free throws along the way, and hopefully Capital can connect on three-pointers. Capital hasn't been too bad from three-point range. Anytime your team can shoot between 40 or 45% from three-point range, that's usually pretty good. Capital now at 42%. Berger double-teamed as Capital puts the full-court press on him. Waugh over to Allemeyer. Allemeyer up ahead to Diorio. 38 seconds and counting. And now a foul is going to be called. Weingartner had to reach in and had no choice but to foul Diorio. So Diorio, who's been stuck on 15 points for quite some time. He had 15 points in the first half. He has scored none in the second half. He will be heading to the free throw line. And, wow, how about this? This will only be his second free throw attempt of the season. Diorio. No wonder he would want to foul a guy like this. Although he makes his first free throw. That'll push the Ohio Northern lead to 5. Gavin Wildermuth will check out for Capital. Meanwhile, Brennan Chukran will come back in. Diorio, shot up and good. That will push the Ohio Northern lead to 6. Actually make that 7. 83-76. 37.6 seconds remain in regulation. Timeout called by Ohio Northern. As head coach Rich Bensman, in his second year at the helm at Ohio Northern, he'll talk things over with his troops. For those of you wondering Where is Ohio Northern exactly? Well, ONU is located about an hour and a half northwest of Columbus in dear old Ada, Ohio. Polar Bears, they were picked to finish 6th in the OAC, although I'll tell you what, after watching this Polar Bears squad today, especially when you have Berger and Bruns out there offensively, don't be surprised if Ohio Northern is able to push itself into the upper half of the OAC this year. They have certainly got the offensive firepower to do it. Rich Bensman likes to employ that run and gun, up and down floor style on offense, and he's not afraid to let his team hit threes as well. We know what Berger can do once you allow him to get into a rhythm on the outside perimeter. And with guys like Diorio helping him out as well, Polar Bears are certainly going to be a team to watch in the OAC. It's no wonder that Coach Goodwin told me before today's game that the OAC is as good as it's ever been. You've got great teams lining this conference up and down. Chukram to Weingartner. Weingartner, step back three. And it's off the glass and good. This game is not over, I'm telling you. Ohio Northern leading Capital 83-79 as a quick timeout's taken by Capital. They got one remaining. 83-79. The lead for Ohio Northern with 28.7 seconds remaining. By the way, what a heck of a ball game it's been for Joey Weingartner. With that made shot, he's now up to 24 points. He has shot 11 of 17 from the field, 2 of 6 from three-point range, and he's also got 2 rebounds and 3 assists. Other standouts for Capital today, Austin Schreck, he's got 15 points to go along with 5 rebounds. And how about Caleb Cox? 12 points, 14 rebounds, a double-double for the Capital big man from the Queen City of Cincinnati. Capital with 10-plus fouls. Ohio Northern with 7. Something to keep an eye on, the foul situation here as the shot clock has been turned off. 28.7 seconds remain in regulation. Capital only down by 4. Ohio Northern has got to be careful with this inbounds pass, but if you're Capital, you're trying to poke the ball away, trying to create another offensive opportunity, and just trying to make this game at the very least interesting down the stretch, as Gavin Wildermuth will check back in for Capital for defensive purposes. Allemeyer gets it into Diorio. Diorio is instantly double-teamed, and Diorio is going to take a timeout. Ohio Northern now down to 2 timeouts after that timeout taken by Diorio. 25.5 seconds remain on the clock. It is still Ohio Northern 83, Capital 79. By the way, once again, a reminder, the Byers Airport Subaru postgame show coming up. Final stats, scores around the OAC. We named today's player of the game, and also get you another update regarding the women's basketball team for Capital as they're playing out in Ada, taking on the Polar Bears. Want to get this interesting note in. This is a brotherly affair today here at the Capital Center. Why do I say that? Well, today, Capital assistant coach Andy Winters, he's been at Capital for 4 years. He has taken on his brother Matt Winters, who's an assistant coach for Ohio Northern. And it's so funny how you look at Andy, you look at Matt. Matt is literally 5 inches taller than him. He stands at about 6'7", 6'8". Matt is 6'7", 6'8". Andy is not. Let's just put it to you that way. Has to be pretty special, however, matching wits with your brother on opposite sidelines. And both of those guys, very accomplished basketball players during their playing days. All right, here we go. Allemeyer trying to get it in. Finally does. Diorio loses it. Gavin Wildermuth. Joey, and his three-pointer is blocked by Bruns. Diorio gets fouled by Schreck. 19 seconds remain. Oh, man. Capital got a steal. Quickly got it to Weingartner, who has had a hot hand today. But because of that 6'8" frame by Bruns, his shot was blocked. Weingartner's was. Diorio, who's made some really good hustle plays in today's game, he gathers up the loose ball, and now he'll have a chance to potentially put this game on ice here with a couple of free throws. First shot for Diorio is good. Now puts the Ohio Northern lead to 84-79. 19 seconds remain in regulation as Brennan Chukran will check back in for Capital. One more free throw coming for Diorio. Free throw up and good for Diorio, who's had a really solid game today, 18 points. Cap quickly up the floor. Abel, three, no good. Rebound, Diorio. And let's see what the call is going to be, a jump ball. And the possession arrow favors Capital. Abel will inbound it from the baseline. 85-79. That's the lead for Ohio Northern. Weingartner, three. That's no good. Caleb Cox back up, and he got fouled. That'll stop the clock with 5.4 seconds to go. Well, if you're Cox, perhaps the strategy going in here is that you try to make the first free throw, and then you intentionally miss the second one, trying to create a three-point opportunity perhaps. Cox makes the first free throw, draws Capital to within 5. 5.4 seconds remain. Wildermuth will check back in for Capital. Let's see what Cox does with this free throw. Wow, Cox was trying to miss it intentionally, but instead he made it. That's how good of a free throw shooter he is. So the two free throws draw Capital to within 4. It's 85-81. Ohio Northern with the lead. 5.4 seconds remaining in regulation. Another update when it comes to the women's game. They have gone to the half. Ohio Northern with a commanding 36-21 lead over Capital. Leading scorer for Ohio Northern in that game is Alexis Kirkbride. She's got 9. And meanwhile, Capital, they're being paced offensively by Emily Ondo. She's got 6 points to go along with 2 assists and 3 rebounds. Again, the women's team for Capital trailing Ohio Northern at the half, 36-21. Back come both teams onto the floor. Well, it goes without saying here, Capital needs to force a turnover off of this inbounds pass. Otherwise, Ohio Northern in all likelihood will win this game. Allemeyer trying to get it in to somebody, anybody, and he calls a timeout. And I believe, no, that's not the last timeout for Ohio Northern. They still got 1 remaining. (85-81). Ohio Northern holding a 4-point lead. 5.4 seconds remain on the clock. There's still some hope here for a miracle finish, but something miraculous is going to have to happen here for the Crusaders. Capital out of timeouts. 8 fouls on Ohio Northern. Capital, they've long gone past the 10-foul mark in this game. It's been a tremendous game for Joey Weingartner. He's got 24 for Cap. Equally impressive game for Nate Berger, who's got 23 points and 8 assists today for Ohio Northern. Both teams back on the floor. Allemeyer will be the inbounder once again. Allemeyer looking, gets it into Waugh. Waugh fouled. Stopping the clock with 4.1 seconds remaining. Brennan Chukran will get set to check back in offensively for Capital. So Waugh will head to the free throw line. Ohio Northern up by 4. And Waugh has a chance to clinch a victory here for the Polar Bears as they would go on to start 1-0 within OAC play. Shot is up for Waugh, and it's no good. Chukran comes in for Capital. Waugh with one more free throw. Shot is up and good. Schreck trying to throw a long pass. Cox ahead to Weingartner. Joey for three. It's good at the buzzer, but it will not be enough. At the end of the day, it's Ohio Northern who hangs on. 86-84. Polar Bears defeat the Crusaders today here at the Capitol Center. Coming up, we'll have the Byers Airport Subaru post-game show. Take a look at the final stats, scores around the OAC, and much more. Again, Ohio Northern defeating Capital today, 86-84. The Byers Airport Subaru post-game show coming up in just a moment.
This is a message for all those MBA seekers out there. For the junior exec who'd rather be senior. For the VP yearning to be CEO. And for everyone who'd call their job not just a profession, but a passion. Capital University's MBA program was built exclusively for professionals, experienced faculty, flexible schedules, and classmates you'll soon consider colleagues. Learn more at capital.edu/MBA. The Capital University MBA, for those driven to do more.
Capital University has partnered with Aramark to form Capital Dining Services. Stop in for a snack or some Crimson Cup coffee at the Capitol grounds located inside Sailor Ackerman Hall. The Capitol Court is located on the second floor of the Student Union and is open 7 days a week with a variety of meal options. And don't forget about One Main Cafe, located off of the main lobby in the Student Union. Capital Dining Services and all of its locations powered by Aramark are proud supporters of Crusader Athletics. For venue hours and more information, go to capital.campusdish.com.
New vehicles, reliable pre-owned vehicles, top-notch, high-quality service technicians, and friendly, trustworthy sales associates dedicated to customer service. Byers Airport Subaru in Columbus is ready to get you into the vehicle that you were meant for. Stop by to see our selection at 401 North Hamilton Road in Columbus and take a test drive, or call Byers Airport Subaru at 877-265-9695 today. Byers Airport Subaru is a proud supporter of Crusader Athletics. Subaru, confidence in motion.
Capital Athletics would like to thank all of its partners for their support of Crusader Athletics. Donato's Pizza, Planks Cafe, Dill's Greenhouse, OSU Wexner Medical Center, Zoe's Cafe, the Honey Baked Ham Company, the Rusty Bucket, Jimmy John's, On the Border Mexican Grill and Cantina, Byers Airport Subaru, Pepsi, the CU Society of Sports Management, Marriott Columbus Airport, Capital Dining Services and One Main Cafe, and the Peking Dynasty.
Welcome in to the Byers Airport Subaru postgame show. Ohio Northern takes down Capital today 86-84. And now let us go ahead and take a look at some final stats from this game. These stats are brought to you by the On the Border Mexican Grill and Cantina. We start first with the team stats for each of these squads. As we start with Ohio Northern, Polar Bears shot 49% from the field. They hit 15 three-pointers on the day, going 15 of 32 from the on the arc, good for 47% on the day. The Polar Bears shot 9 of 14 from the free throw line, good for 64%. And they were out-rebounded in this game by Capital 37-34. Ohio Northern also had 13 turnovers as well. Capital, meanwhile, from a team standpoint, they shot 47% from the field. Crusaders went 10 of 24 from beyond the arc, good for 42%. They also went 14 of 17 from the foul line, good for 82%. Again, Capital out-rebounded Ohio Northern 37-34 in this game. And the Crusaders, well, they had 12 turnovers in today's game. Other team statistics of note, both Capital and Ohio Northern had 20 points off of turnovers today. Capital had the edge in second chance points, 15-8, and Capital's bench outscored Ohio Northern's bench 21-15. Now on to some individual statistics. We first start with the Polar Bears. Leading scorer for Ohio Northern today was Nate Berger, who had himself a heck of a game. 23 points, 8 assists, and 4 rebounds Berger, shooting 9 of 18 from the field, 5 of 13 from three-point range, and 0 of 1 from the foul line. Heck of a game for Nate Berger, the senior from Dayton, Ohio. Other scorers for Ohio Northern today: 10 points for Daniel Donner, 19 points for Joey Diorio, 16 points for Ryan Bruns, who had himself quite a second half after running into foul trouble in the first half for the Polar Bears. Austin Allermeyer had 3 points. Brandon Waugh had 7 points off the bench, 2 points each for Alfonso White and Travis Fitzhans with 2 points each, and Max Hartnett with 4 points for the Polar Bears. Meanwhile, for Capital, leading scorer for the Crusaders today was Joey Weingartner. Weingartner, 27 points, 12 of 20 from the field, 3 of 9 from three-point range. Joey Weingartner, well, he's our player of the game, brought to you by Donato's Pizza. Weingartner had it working offensively today, and unfortunately, it was not enough for Capital as they fell 86-84. And now, it's now time for our post-game coach interview. This is brought to you by Peking Dynasty, and we happen to have a very special guest joining us here in the broadcast booth. We are joined by one of the assistant coaches for Ohio Northern. That would be Anthony Golson. And, Coach, as I get your headset turned up here, this was a track meet for much of the day. We knew that Ohio Northern scores in bunches. Nate Berger, a heck of a player. How did you see this game today?
I thought they made quite a few shots in the first half. I don't think they were 12 for 21 from 3 in the first half. So that was one of those things that was hard to come back from. They had 50 points in the first half, if I remember correctly. So I thought we did a good job in the second half defensively against those guys.
What do you make about Berger? Berger, man, he was putting on a show out there from three-point range.
Well, he's one of the better players in the league. So you always know where he is on the floor. He can shoot uncontested and contested shots. It's very difficult to keep him guarded. You have to make him put it on the floor and drive to the basket, but if you allow him to get in the rhythm, it's very difficult to get him stopped.
We're talking with Anthony Golson here on the Byers Airport Super postgame show as Capital fell to Ohio Northern today 86-84. Heck of a game by Joey Weingartner today, 27 points on 12 of 20 shooting from the field. I mean, Coach, he is one of those players that once he gets that jumper going, he's nearly unstoppable.
Yeah, Joey's worked very hard on his basketball game. He's one of those guys that's a gym rat. He's in the gym all the time. He's probably our go-to scorer from the perimeter. So he got it going today from 3, and he's very good at hitting also mid-range shots. So he probably hit a few mid-range shots today, pull-up jump shots. He works on that quite a bit. Like I said, once he gets going, he's similar to Berger in our league. I mean, he's going to be a tough guy to guard, and he's a heck of a basketball player.
Speaking of guards, it was Cameron Caldwell who got the start at point guard today. I know that he suffered a little bit of an injury there late in the second half. How is he doing, and what do you think of his first collegiate start?
I thought, Kemp did a pretty good job. I mean, he can get to the basket. He's a very physical kid, so I think he gives us that physicality around the basketball, and he kind of makes other people better because he can get by his man and draw defense, and all of a sudden now he can penetrate and pitch the basketball. He's a very strong kid, so he's going to be a matchup problem as he gets a little older and understands the game a little bit more. And defensively, he's probably one of our stronger defenders as well. So he's going to be a good basketball player.
Before I let you go, Coach, you faced a team in Ohio Northern who likes to put up a lot of points. Muskingum is no different. That's your next opponent. You take on the Muskies on Thursday. What's the game plan heading into that game as you try to snap a four-game losing streak?
Right. Well, in this league, there are no days off. So you can't take it. We're going to get back in the lab, in the gym, and work as hard as we possibly can to get ready for Muskingum. It's always a tough week because it's finals week. This is probably, to me, I've been coaching this league for about 15 to 20 years now, and this is always the toughest week to get the guys focused for because of the finals and how important academics are at Division III institutions. So it's very important that for the hour that we practice, they stay focused. I'm sure our guys are going to practice and play hard. So that's one of the things that we don't have to fight, and we're very fortunate that our guys play hard and practice hard. So I think they'll be ready for Muskingum when the time comes. And I think now that they've gotten a little bit closer to how we want to play, I think they're going to be loaded for Muskingum on Thursday.
All right, Coach. Well, hey, good luck against Muskingum, and thanks so much for joining us.
All right, thank you very much.
Anthony Golson, one of the assistant coaches here at Capital, joining us here on the Byers Airport Subaru postgame show. Again, Capital falling to Ohio Northern 86-84. We'll take a very quick timeout. When we come back, we'll take a look at scores around the OAC and much more. Again, Ohio Northern defeating Capital 86-84 here at the Capital Center. More of the Byers Airport Subaru postgame show in just a moment.
Capital University has partnered with Aramark to form Capital Dining Services. Stop in for a snack or some Crimson Cup coffee at the Capitol grounds located inside Sailor Ackerman Hall. The Capitol Court is located on the second floor of the Student Union and is open 7 days a week with a variety of meal options. And don't forget about One Main Cafe, located off of the main lobby in the Student Union. Capital Dining Services and all of its locations powered by Aramark are proud supporters of Crusader Athletics. For venue hours and more information, go to capital.campusdish.com.
Ed, what is that bizarre contraption?
It's my latest Jimmy John's online ordering enhancement, sir.
Really?
Yes, sir. You know our popular Jimmy John's online ordering service?
Yes, click, order, eat.
This is the perfect time-saving companion.
How perfect, Ed?
Presenting the Jimmy John's F4000 three-dimensional sandwich printer.
Oh, boy.
See, we put one of these babies in the home of every Jimmy John's customer.
Uh-huh.
They order the sandwich online.
Uh-huh.
And we send a signal to the F4000 to make their sandwich.
Ed, how much does one of these babies cost?
With the quantity discount, $50,000, sir.
And how long does it take to print a sandwich?
About 8 hours, sir.
Do you see where I'm going with this?
So back to the drawing board?
No, stay away from the drawing board, Ed.
Welcome back to the Byers Airport Subaru postgame show. Capital falling to Ohio North today 86-84. It's now time to name tonight's player of the game, brought to you by Donato's Pizza. And where else to turn but a guy who had a sensational game for Capital today. That'd be Joey Weingartner. Weingartner 12 of 20 from the field, 3 of 9 from three-point range, 27 points for Joey Weingartner, our player of the game. Again, that's brought to you by Donato's Pizza. Let's take one last look around the Ohio Athletic Conference. This OAC scoreboard update is brought to you by the Honey Baked Ham Company. Boy, oh boy, this Honey Baked Ham actually sounds pretty good to me. A couple of finals here in the OAC. Heidelberg defeats Otterbein 99-85. Capital's longtime rivals, the Otterbein Cardinals, are now 0-7 after that loss to the Berg today. John Carroll put it on Muskingum 115-74. And then a couple of teams that are just about to start in the second half. Wilmington possessing a 36-29 lead over Mount Union. And Marietta leading Baldwin-Wallace by 3, 38-35. And before we go, a Capital scoreboard update brought to you by Peking Dynasty. And, that means that we get to take a look at how the women's team is doing for Capital. They are on the road, taking on Ohio Northern today. And right now, 9:04 remaining, actually 8:37 remaining in the third quarter of that one. Ohio Northern leading Capital 36-23. Leading scorer for Ohio Northern in that one continues to be Alexis Kirkbride. The leading scorer for Capital in that one is Emily Ondo. She's got 6 points and 3 rebounds. Let's go ahead and get you updated with the upcoming broadcasting schedule now for both Capital men's and women's basketball. Let's start with the ladies first. Women's basketball, you will be hearing the dulcet tones of my good friend Jimmy Bloomfield coming up here on December 7th. That would be on a Thursday night. That game is scheduled for a 7:30 tip, which means that we will get things started for the Jimmy John's pregame show beginning at 7 o'clock that night. Meanwhile, the men's team, they are going to be on the road that night, taking on Muskingum, as you heard me talking about that with assistant coach Anthony Golson, which means our next Capital broadcast, it's going to be a while, actually, since we only cover Capital home games. Capital will be playing host to Baldwin-Wallace coming up on December 16th, but before then, Capital's got to play a couple road games between now and then. They'll be on the road at Muskingum on December 7th. That will be on a Thursday. That's followed by the big rivalry game with Otterbein. That's going to be at Otterbein December 9th at Saturday. That game is scheduled for a 2 o'clock tip. And then December 12th, that's on a Tuesday, Capital will be making the trek over to Granville, Ohio, taking on the Denison Big Red. That game is scheduled for a 7 o'clock start. As for our game against Baldwin-Wallace, again, that's Saturday, December 16th, scheduled 2 o'clock tip-off for that game. And we will get things started with the Jimmy John's pregame show for that affair between the Yellow Jackets and the Crusaders beginning at 1:30. This is Charlie Danis saying one final time, the final score tonight from the Capitol Center. It's Ohio Northern 86, Capital 84. We hope that you have enjoyed this presentation of Crusaders men's basketball here on the Capital Sports Network. Until then, everybody, so long and good night from Bexley, Ohio.